Welcome, lovers of the spooky and the macabre, to this Halloween season tale of hauntings and horror, using the new World of Darkness supplement Ghost Hunters on Kickstarter now. It's already funded and plowing through stretch goals, so go check it out. It fits into any World of Darkness 20th anniversary game line and offers all kinds of new options to both play as mortals and use them as antagonists. We are calling our tale of haunting Chimera House. I'm sure many of you have heard this tale. But for those who have not, the Chimera House, also known as the 13th floor moneyback house, is an urban legend which consists of the usual young teens going out for a night on the town, only to stumble across a large, worn-down, multiple-story building where they are offered to go through a haunted attraction that consists of real horrors inside. In the story, the teens are asked to pay a certain amount of money and told they will receive a portion of it back or a much larger prize for every floor they complete. The twist, of course, is that no one has ever completed the entire house, and the ones who try never come back. Rumors about the various horrors inside the house range from poisonous deadly animals, deformed humans, to the supernatural. Although the Chimera House has never been proven to exist, some people still search fervently for it in real life, and several haunted attractions are asked if they are the infamous haunt every October. There have even been a few major media representations of the story, including House of a Thousand Corpses and Channel Zero No End House, based on the creepypasta of the same name. This will be our twist on this terrifying tale. I am Tyler, EldritchEchoes Online, and I will be your speaker of the dead for this terrifying tale. We are Vorpal Tales, and we have a variety of terrifying tales and awesome adventures we play every week, Sunday to Friday, all at 9 p.m. Eastern. Right now we are playing Conan by Modifius on Sundays, our Chronicles of Darkness game, No Time for Reality, right here on the Onyx Channel on Mondays, Dungeon of the Mad Mage by Wizards of the Coast on Tuesdays, of course this here on Wednesdays, Starfinder by Paizo on Thursdays, and on Fridays a rotating horror show. This week will be Cult, Divinity Lost by Helmgast. You can find us on almost all social media platforms by looking up Vorpal Tales. You can also find us by looking up Vorpal Tales on YouTube, Twitch, and coming soon, all your favorite podcast platforms. You can also visit our website, vorpaltales.com, for all the info on us, as well as the free link to join our Discord and links to our Patreon page. Come check us out. Fellow Night Horrors, please tell everyone who you are and the name of your character in this tale of the macabre.
Hello, I'm Steve, and you can find me on the internet, whatever that newfangled internet is, at Voodoo Arcade. And, I guess tonight I'm playing Aldous, the 60-something, jaded, grizzled necromancer. I look for all the fakeness in the investigations we look into.
Hi everybody, I'm Ever, my pronouns are they, them, and tonight I will be playing Cassandra, aka Cass Markopoulos, and she is a medium, not like one of those fake ones. She's an actual medium. She's not a small or large.
My name's Luis Acosta. I'm going to be playing Lupe Usman. I'm going to be that tech-savvy paranormal lightning rod guy who has to go into the vents, but unfortunately it gets a little bit too close.
Hi there. My name's CJ. What was that? Y'all hear that? There's something scratching in the walls. I swear it. I tell you. I'm the one. I'm the one that goes looking around. The curtain's moving. I think there's a ghost over there. It's over right there at the window. Everything scares me, man. I don't know why I took this job. Ghost freaked me out. They freaked me out real bad.
Hello, my name is John Dorr, playing Bradley Tomlinson today. And just remember, there's always an explanation for literally everything. I mean, you just have to look hard enough and deep enough, and you can connect almost anything you want with a little bit of stretch here or there. But that's what the educated man does, is he makes an educated guess. And I'm going to be playing the conspiracy theorist tonight.
Excellent. Let's talk about the book for a second. Ghost Hunters, of course, is available on Kickstarter now. It already funded and is already moving through stretch goals. You should definitely check it out if you get a chance. Having read through the manuscript, it's definitely worth your time. It's hella fun. It's set in the World of Darkness setting. It does require you to have any of the 20th anniversary game lines for the core rules, but then it fits in its own slot where you can add it to any existing 20th anniversary World of Darkness game, or even play it standalone, depending on if you prefer to be the mortals or use the mortals as antagonists. Now let's talk about ghost hunting. In the World of Darkness, a mortal's first brush with the supernatural may be real, or it may simply be a trick of the mind. While many may not believe creatures like vampires or werewolves exist, most are willing to entertain the idea that ghosts do. Whether someone is convinced their lover is haunting them from beyond the grave, or their certain tragic, if not violent deaths cause ghosts to appear, mortals assume there is an afterlife and spirits are real. Mortals are so determined to prove ghosts are real, they often go to great lengths to investigate the supernatural, whether they believe in it or not. World of Darkness Ghost Hunters presents paranormal investigation from a mortal's perspective. Characters cover skeptical ghost hunters, well-organized groups, natural mediums, and their families, and the equipment they use to uncover the truth that ghosts are real. In the World of Darkness, however, paranormal investigators may unwittingly stumble across any one of its other denizens, putting themselves and the creatures they encounter at risk. Whether they're the protagonists of a chronicle or the antagonists pursuing a wraith or one of the kindred, Ghost Hunters introduce a new way to tell compelling stories using the 20th anniversary World of Darkness games. The prominent themes in Ghost Hunters are mystery and fear of the unknown. Ghost Hunters explore the supernatural and investigate the darkest, often oldest corners of the world, even when other mortals are too scared to linger in the shadows. A paranormal investigator doesn't have to be skilled or an expert in the occult to hunt, nor do they have to believe the things that go bump in the night are even real. For this reason, the secondary theme of a chronicle incorporating Ghost Hunters is a spine-chilling fear of the unknown. For both mortals and the denizens of the supernatural, they unwittingly target. Whilst a vampire is more than capable of defending themselves against a ghost hunter whose weapon is an EVP recorder, many paranormal investigators are organized into groups that are well equipped and have plenty of resources to mount a larger inquiry. A mildly curious investigator, on the other hand, who had a suspicion the supernatural was real, will face their greatest fears when their first brush is not what they expected it to be. The mood is tied to the role of the paranormal investigator in a chronicle. As protagonists, as this story will be, mortals are often totally unaware of what they're getting themselves into. What starts out as a spooky evening at a haunted house quickly turns to dread when a skeptic cannot deny the things they've seen and believed. Even paranormal investigators who do believe in the supernatural will not know the full extent of their ignorance until they encounter a wraith who's eager to toy with them. When ghost hunters and their organizations are antagonists, the mood shifts for the supernatural. While mortals may not cause outright terror, they will force different creatures to feel vulnerable at the possibility that they and their secrets may be exposed. That potential puts supernatural beings and their societies at risk in many different ways. Players have multiple options for gameplay in World of Darkness Ghost Hunters. They may create a character fixated on ghosts, a protagonist who's a medium, a skeptic, an entertainer, a dedicated paranormal investigator, or many more. Should the player want to explore what it means to be a mortal in the World of Darkness, they can expect intrigue, misdirection, and danger unlike anything they've experienced before. Now on to you guys and your happy-go-lucky band of ghost hunters. What happens when we die? That question is so inextricably tied to our own existence that humanity has striven to answer it for thousands of years. Whether through science, religion, or other mystical means, we've tried to assure ourselves that physical death is not the end for us. It's the beginning. From 30,000-year-old cave paintings in the south of France to countless religions and belief systems, the notion that there is some form of afterlife is extremely prevalent. And if you're a ghost hunter, you most likely are one who believes that death is not the end for us, that once a human being sheds their physical body, they continue to exist in another form. Some believe this form is the soul, the essence of who we are. Others believe that we're all made of energy, and that when we die, we're merely returning to our natural state. We know from a scientific perspective that energy itself can't die, it merely changes form. These new forms pass on to some other place, leaving the world as we know it behind. Heaven, hell, the afterlife, the underworld, parallel universes, whatever you want to call it. It seems the form we take on after physical death moves on to somewhere else. But in the world of darkness, not always. Sometimes new forms get stuck. They don't move on. Sometimes they become ghosts, or spirits, or whatever other word you want to use. The soul or essence of a human being that maintains a connection, or tether, to this physical world for some reason, or maybe even for some person. By and large, ghost hunting and paranormal investigations in general are looked upon as pseudo-scientific at best, despite attempts at legitimacy in the scientific community over the years. One of the things you'll hear a lot of ghost hunters claim is that they take a scientific approach to paranormal investigation. But what does that mean, really? Because there is no scientific evidence that ghosts really exist. And no scientific evidence that any of the equipment used in ghost hunting can actually detect ghosts. Still, elements of the scientific method can be followed by paranormal investigators, recording observations, forming hypotheses and testing them, and drawing conclusions from the data obtained. Ghost hunting and paranormal investigating are more popular than ever, and that shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon. Dozens of reality TV shows and a myriad of web series has helped lead to the repopulation of ghost hunting, and technology has become affordable enough for even paranormal investigators on a budget to outfit themselves with the most typical tools of the trade. It's also easier than ever to find potential investigation locations, as there are thousands of websites and dozens of smartphone apps dedicated to cataloging allegedly haunted locations. In addition to the access that information and the technology provide, another possible reason for the surge in amateur paranormal investigation is that there are no rules or regulations posing barriers to entry. Anyone can decide to become a paranormal investigator, and anyone can call themselves a ghost hunter. But that's not necessarily a good thing. As used today, the term ghost hunting is related to the attempted detection, observation, and documentation of ghosts. But what happens if your ghost hunt results in finding an actual ghost? And what if it's a ghost that isn't welcome in the place it's haunted? Most paranormal investigators are not in the business of getting rid of ghosts. There is often hope that communicating with it or discovering the reason it or they is tied to a particular place will help the spirit pass on to the other side. Perhaps there is a body that wasn't buried properly. Perhaps there's a family heirloom that must be returned to its rightful place. Perhaps there's a crime that must be solved for the spirit to be at peace. In these situations, a paranormal investigator may be able to aid in helping the spirit move on, but they will frequently need to call in some help. There are also cases where the spirit in question doesn't want to leave, and that changes everything. In many cases, paranormal investigators will be assisted by psychics or mediums who can help determine the reason the site is being haunted. From salting and smudging to rituals and actual exorcism, the methods available for dealing with unwanted spirits are many, but also require knowledge, training, and sometimes extra-normal abilities in order for them to be effective. An experienced hunter is equipped for the job and knows when and who to call for help. Paranormal investigators share notes, data, and resources with like-minded peers to obtain proof the supernatural is real. Some do so for the sake of gaining knowledge, while others see a means of acquiring power. These ghost hunters, mediums, and occultists often form organizations that provide the means to achieve lofty goals. These groups, even when they operate in secrecy, are eventually noticed by natives of the supernatural world. Some of these fabricate misinformation and feed it to investigators, throwing them off track. Others send cultists or informants to infiltrate a group and subvert its members to unwittingly do their bidding. Whatever the reason, however they're formed, ghost hunting organizations have their place in the world of darkness, though it may not be precisely the role they desire. Ghost hunting is not only about adventure, the thrill of discovery, or morbid revelations about grisly demises. Some hunters prefer to investigate in more cloistered locales, poring over historical tomes, first-hand accounts, and classified legal investigations of paranormal activities for the sake of acquiring knowledge. While most ghost hunters work quietly in the shadows, some seek the bright, if temporary, lights of fame. The Paranormal Investigation Collective, PIC, is a group of hunters in various cities in the United States who collect information from the public about supposed hauntings. A PIC team is sent to the location to investigate, along with a reality TV crew, to record their findings and their interpersonal drama. The results of these hunts are edited together into episodes and shown on cable TV with the tagline, "Pick her, it didn't happen." As many of these reports end up being cold leads, the PIC teams keep viewers hooked with various forms of on-screen antics, from showing off cool new gear to spicy romances to explosive arguments between cast members. Paradoxically, cold leads also reassure captive audiences that the world is, indeed, a safe place, free of spooky supernatural activity. PIC teams are also known for their sense of style. As television personalities, they tend to dress in the latest fashions with their hair professionally coiffed. PIC teams often carry extensive gear that has been augmented by prop makers to look futuristic, including EMF meters, Geiger counters, and night vision video cameras. PIC teams are usually quite diverse in order to appeal to a wide variety of audiences, regularly featuring hosts that are female, queer, and people of color. Regardless of the success rate of their ghost hunting, PIC teams try to push the envelope each season with more extreme, thrill-seeking stunts, and the ratings reflect well on their efforts, at least as far as cable TV is concerned. All Paranormal Investigation Collective shows are first broadcast on the wildly popular syndicated network station Omni TV. Your team was once part of a nationally syndicated ghost hunting show, run and produced by one Stance Teeger, a shadowy figure who always knew where to send you and the other two teams for the best ghost hunting episodes. The primary show and both of its offshoots were wildly successful, right up until Stance mysteriously disappeared. This was 13 months ago. Since then, both spin-off shows have been canceled, and only the main show survived the chaos of losing its masterful producer with the magic touch for the spookiest episodes. Your show was one of the two spin-offs. You stayed together as a team, changed your show name, and pooled your cash to buy out your trademarks and contracts. You then fired up a web show that found moderate success, enough success for the PIC to offer you a shot. They want you to film a show entirely yourselves and send it off to them. It needs to be full of drama and full of spooky woo-ness. If they like it, you will be offered a regular spot, and they will scout future locations and send you to them. At this stage, please come up with a name for your ghost hunting show in its current iteration. Chirp, chirp, chirp.
Spooky Warriors.
The worry, the
Booth
worry.
crew.
This rolls off the tongue. It has a certain sophistication behind it. It's a je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais où.
Je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais- je ne
Unfortunately,
sais où.
that's not a show name that's going to get you any recognition by the PIC or your web audience.
Yeah, no.
Make
I'm
it
not,
cool.
I'm not feeling
Make it
that.
snappy. Come on, sexy.
Go snaps.
Hollywood.
Let's go.
Let's see.
The
Well, having
Haunted.
everything has like, isn't that like a Netflix show though? We can't do that.
Go snaps.
Or are we
Netflix?
just using
What's
Snapchat
Netflix?
to catch
Are-
everything?
Are you talking about Internet flicks? Yeah, that's a thing that
Yes.
exists in the world of darkness.
Internet flicks. That's a
the-
show on Internet flicks.
Web flicks.
Everything's
for
got the word ghost in it though.
Spooky crew.
Supernatural.
Correct, Kimchi. We need alliteration. Also,
Interflix
during my big old
supernaturals.
monologue, I saw somebody was giving out dice already. In this game, dice will give you +2 to any dice pool of your choice. You get the award from the audience. +2 bonus dice.
Okay.
Carry on with your name creation.
Ghost grabbers.
What about spirit box?
Love it.
You know, like the thing that we use? We're just called spirit box. Huh? Yeah. I like
Not
spirit.
bad. It's definitely not bad.
Yeah. Like little device that we use to channel through to get the EVPs. We're a spirit box.
It would make your logo easy.
Yeah.
Just a square.
That's all it is. With little white dots in it.
This would be a cube. It's a box. That's the
Spirit box goes to ghost.
Now you're getting somewhere.
You know, like
Now you're cooking with gas.
colons, like
Ghost colon ghost.
yeah, like that's a great way to.
Getting some ideas from the audience too.
Poltergeist Patrol. I like that one.
Poltergeist Patrol?
I like that one.
Poltergeist
actually.
Patrol is.
Well,
yeah,
wait.
That might be the best one so far.
Yeah, but our initials will be
Poltergeist.
Our initials will be PP.
That's
don't
fine
have
with me.
initials.
Are you okay with the like? Oh,
No, that
I'm
has-
part of PP.
Hey,
like
that has a certain edge to it. All right.
I
That-
don't.
there
wanna
is
be
no
say-
such thing as bad publicity.
Listen, I just don't feel comfortable proudly saying I'm part of PP.
Why would
Like-
you use the initials? That's silly.
Yeah, I mean, poltergeist.
We don't go around
Patrol.
saying we're VT.
I do.
PP.
No, that's why I said it. So far we have Poltergeist Patrol and Spirit Box. Poltergeist Patrol, Ghost to Ghost also applies. So, Steve, which of those do you like better?
Oh, what about Spirit Patrol? Refuse it.
Poltergeist box.
Yes. Yes.
It's a PB, and then
Yes.
John.
I will vote for either poltergeist or spirit patrol.
Lewis.
If it turns out that PP is a deal breaker, that's my secondary vote.
I like the alliteration of Poltergeist Patrol.
Ever.
I I do like Poltergeist Patrol. Ghost to Ghost.
Patrol.
Tiffany.
PPGG.
I like Spirit Patrol. I think that's a cute fusion of the two.
I
Ooh,
think
the other one-
I think all three of those are really cool. However, Poltergeist Patrol carries by majority vote. You are Poltergeist Patrol, Ghost to Ghost.
I'm
Sorry,
not
Devin.
saying I'm
Too
part
slow,
of PP.
too late.
I'm not part of PP.
Okay, now that that's decided, let's get to know the investigators. First up is Cassandra. So in order to meet Cassandra, we gotta talk about mediums. At its simplest, a medium is a being who is able to communicate with those who have moved beyond the shroud, those who are, essentially, dead. Unsuspected by most living and undead creatures, what we refer to as ghosts are not a single type of entity. There are wraiths and specters, and a medium might even inadvertently come into contact with the dread Malfian, one of the horrors who inhabit the nastier parts of the cities of the dead. Mediums are nearly always otherwise normal humans, as mages, werewolves, and vampires have their own special means of communing with the departed. The embrace, becoming a vampire, removes the medium's talent, though ghouls, the servitors of vampires, may retain the ability. Some mediums are born with their ability, either manifest or latent. Some develop it later in life, or learn to be mediums by their own efforts. A talent for mediumship runs in some family lines, but can develop spontaneously in individuals whose families have never before produced a medium. In order to retain her sanity, a medium needs to make sense of what is happening to her. the sights she sees and the sounds she hears. Ghosts have their own drives and motivations for communicating with the living, and not all of them are benign, let alone truthful. The restless dead are not supposed to treat with the living, and whilst many do break this rule, known as the dictum mortem, they have to be careful to avoid coming to the attention of those who rule over them. Both these factors mean that ghosts can be dishonest or at best cagey when explaining the facts of their own existence and the nature of life after death. This makes it difficult, if not impossible, for a medium to discern the whole truth about post-mortem existence. At best, she will gain small shards of truth, which, being human, she will attempt to piece together into something that makes sense. What makes sense to her will depend largely upon the beliefs of her family and society. Many mediums see and communicate with spirits as well as ghosts. Few understand enough about the underworld, or for that matter, the reality of spirits, to know the difference. Genuine knowledge of the underworld is a rare commodity, even amongst those with the gift of mediumship. Contact with a ghost is terrifying. Even the most skilled and experienced mediums describe a shiver down the spine and a feeling of supernatural dread as the ghost makes first contact. In time, a medium can become attuned to a particular ghost with whom she is in regular communication. However positive her feelings toward the ghost are, that initial dread occurs at the beginning of every contact, dissipating when and if the medium recognizes the ghost as a friendly presence or even a spirit guide. Beyond that, a medium's experience with the ghost is something unique to each individual. Many feel the ghost as an alien presence in their mind, an entity who does not experience the world as they do, through the five senses, but who nonetheless is capable of making demands upon the medium, which she may find impossible to deny. A skilled medium can carry on an internal conversation with the ghost, much as all humans do when they imagine themselves in conversation with an absent friend or loved one. The major difference here is that the medium is not in control of the ghost or the answers it gives to her questions. She may hear the ghost talking in the voice it had when it was alive, but this is a voice in her head. Although it is as real to her as the voice of a living person, others nearby cannot hear it. Some ghosts will attempt to take control of the medium's body, and even her mind and soul. The medium may give in to this happily, or she may put up a fight. If she beats the ghost in a contest of wills, the ghost leaves and contact with it breaks. When a ghost possesses a medium, the medium's own consciousness becomes dormant, much like it is when she is deeply asleep. She may awake to dreamlike memories of things she did when the ghost was in charge, but she will be reliant on other observers for reliable information about her own behavior, or rather, what her body did when the ghost was riding her. Although possession by a ghost cannot directly change a medium's body or physical features, it can make such a massive difference in her nonverbal language and facial expression that she is scarcely recognizable as herself. Her voice changes as the ghost manipulates her lips, tongue, breath, and vocal cords. Her behavior changes. A non-smoker may demand a cigar, a vegan a rare steak, or a teetotaler a gin and tonic. She may experience desires and drives that are alien to her nature. All this can be terrifying when the medium comes back to herself. And this is why religions and other social groups, which invite such possession, have support mechanisms for celebrants lucky enough to be the vehicle for a ghostly manifestation. Some ghosts are able to take on a physical appearance, often looking and sounding vague and ephemeral, but not all are capable of this. There are mediums who specialize in summoning ghosts who can manifest in this way, though this is no longer as popular as it was in Victorian times. Faking is particularly common when it comes to ephemeral manifestations. The medium may produce the illusion himself or rely on an accomplice. In any case, the fact remains that in some instances, no evidence of trickery exists. There is no natural explanation for such manifestations. And it is clear that these ghosts are real and can show themselves to the living. These genuine manifestations are rare and obviously of great interest to ghost hunters. The medium's experience of the manifested ghost is identical to that of other observers. She is the one the ghost wishes to be near, and although she may have seen the ghost on many occasions, few mediums ever become blasé about the experience. All right, Cass, tell us about your character. Tell us your background, how and why you became a ghost hunter, and what it's like being you with your gifts and talents. Also tell us what you look like and how you typically act during a ghost hunting show or session, and about your props. Do you use talking boards, automatic writing? What sort of setup do you prefer?
So, Cassandra is a reluctant medium. The ability has run in her family for generations, but they didn't know for a very long time until her mother had gotten the ability spontaneously at the age of 24 and had difficulties with handling it. So they mistook it as a mental illness and sent her away, medicated her. And then, at the age of 16, Cassandra ended up having this ability as well. But instead of telling anyone, she kept it secret. And she ended up talking to a therapist and getting medication, thinking that she was losing her mind or that she had some sort of mental illness going on. However, these things kept happening despite any treatment that she was undergoing. At the age of 20, Cassandra was age 20, her mother was released back to the family. And to celebrate, they went on a family trip to Greece, where Cass met a distant cousin that was a born and trained oracle in the Hellenistic traditions. Since then, they've kept in touch, and the older cousin trained Cassandra in the ways of mediumship. Cassandra thought that she didn't need the medication any longer, and so decided to go off of it. But that didn't go well. It turned out that the medication had been a coincidentally good direction, because had she not taken it, she would have lost her way. Because unbeknownst to her and the paternal side of her family, mental illness was a heritable trait, and the medication had allowed her to experience her mediumship without the interference of the voices she would hear. Due to complications, Cassandra no longer had access to the medication due to discontinuation and a following ban because of side effects that the medication caused. So now she has to decipher which entities are real and which are part of her illness. She had a short time staying in a facility, a healthy, good one, not the old-fashioned asylums. And as a result of a breakdown from the medication withdrawals combined with the death of her cousin, that's what caused her to go in. She got the help she needed and was emboldened to keep seeing her therapist and also embracing the faith that she had been taught by her cousin. So now that her cousin's passed on, her cousin acts as a guiding light and a light in the dark to help her figure out which voices are the ones that come with her illness and which ones are the actual entities, so she can help them move on to the next life. Cassandra is now 37 and determined to use her gift to the best of her ability, though very reluctantly. And the tools she'll use for cold reading run the gamut of tarot cards to pendulums to automatic writing. What else should I add to that?
I'm good if you're good with that.
Okay. Should I tell them how she came to be part of the ghost hunting group?
Correct.
Aha. So, it actually happened through a friend of a friend of a friend of a, well, you get the idea. Cass was giving a cold reading to a friend and accidentally became possessed and had to exorcise a family vase afterwards that had bit off the friend's child's fingers. That friend passed on the word through the grapevine, and word got around that there was a legit medium. Cassandra was contacted by some odd producer that was looking for cast members on a ghost hunting show. She'd never heard of it. he had to convince her to join them, which was no easy task due to her reluctance to use her true abilities, no thanks to her past. 5 desperate phone calls from the producer and an advance paycheck with paid room and travel later, Cassandra was hesitantly persuaded to join the crew.
Excellent. Next up is Chris. In order to talk about Chris, we need to first talk about Numina. The Shadowlands are no place for a mortal human being. Their alien landscape is barely inhabitable for its own denizens, let alone the living. From violent specters to the murderous environment, mortal paranormal investigators who travel into this wasteland take their lives into their own hands. But exposures to these perils seems to enhance, evolve, or modify certain humans. The raging winds of the tempest, or the crushing, oppressive darkness that bleeds into a haunting on the mortal side, can cause humans to adapt in peculiar ways. These forces provide the seekers of knowledge with strange abilities which they have only just begun trying to understand. And then there are superstitions. When provided with constant stimuli that defy rational thought, the mortal mind tends to create coping mechanisms. Magic, after all, is just science that can't be quantified yet, right? Some systems of belief, when followed to the letter, produce strange mystical phenomena that can protect or otherwise benefit the practitioner. Numina are introduced through gameplay, or roleplay, or at character creation, usually through the mutual understanding of the player and the storyteller. In the world of paranormal investigation, there are 2 main branches of Numina that characters can receive. Hedge magic, based in folklore, often associated with the antecessor occult library or mentor merits. Psychic phenomena, often correlated with a high willpower, the result of mental training or a natural gift. Hedge magic is a traditional type of magic, like that often described in folklore. It is formulaic, and it is invoked by those who command the talent through the performance of specific rituals. Paranormal investigators often stumble upon these almost mechanical sets of powers. They come from piecing together unusual circumstances and patterns that investigators have witnessed. This cobbled together rubric somehow provides a code with which it is possible to hack the Shadowlands or their inroads into the land of the quick. Psychic phenomena are evolved psychic powers developed through training and possibly mutations of the human mind. Exposure to the often extreme conditions in which investigators put themselves can bend or rearrange a mortal's genetic code, providing psychic traits and abilities, along with this slow, tedious process. Such powers can also be learned or developed in mortals via regimented stimuli or practice. Investigators of a more logical bent may thus attune themselves to psychic Numina. Each class of Numina can be broken down into Numina paths. A Numina path represents a focused area of ability centered around a specific theme, such as divination or shadow. Like many traits, Numina paths are scored with a rating of 1 to 5. Each rank purchased indicates a new level of mastery for the character. For example, a score of 1 would indicate a novice ranking, while the score of 5 would represent mastery of that path. As a character increases their score in a Numina path, they gain access to the powers listed next to the appropriate number of dots, and of course, retain access to the lesser abilities. Rarely does a mortal possess more than a single type of Numina, either hedge magic or psychic phenomena. The limitations of the mortal condition seem to make it impossible to learn both. Numina powers are costly to learn, and some of them operate under very different, perhaps even opposing paradigms. Learning too much puts a strain on the character's understanding of the world and may damage the foundation of her sanity or psychical well-being. Numina are alien to mortals. There is no way around the fact that it's not an everyday occurrence to see people digging through the entrails of a deer to see into the future, or carving blood-soaked runes into a doorframe. But, truthfully, it is just something else for the local ghost hunter to investigate on their path to knowledge and understanding. While it is exceedingly rare for investigators to procure these abilities, it is not unheard of. There are stories passed around ghost hunting circles about that one time Jeff fell through the rotted-out floor in that mental institution, but saved his neck because he just knew he had to roll to his left at the last second. Lucky guy, huh? Because of anecdotes like these, investigators mostly just cozy up to these folks and try to understand them, or better yet, try to learn their gifts for their own investigative toolkits. It's not like curiosity killed the cat anything, right? All right, Chris, tell us about your character. Tell us your background, how and why you became a ghost hunter, and what it's like being you with your gifts and talents. Also, tell us what you look like and how you typically act during a ghost hunting show or session. And tell us about Starlight and how that works.
Well, to start things off, playing Chris. Full name Christopher Jones Morrison, but he prefers people to call him CJ. Ever since he was a little kid, he's always kind of felt like Halloween is like his favorite holiday. He loves it more than Christmas, because like they have all the really cool shows come on in the month of October with like hauntings and like haunted hotels and like murder mysteries and all this other stuff, and he's always really been into that. He never really understood why, but as much as it scared him, he just really was always drawn to it. And as he, gone through the years, he just kind of like just kept on going with it. He just knew the world wasn't just as black as white as other people, tried to make it seem. As he started getting older, he would do like the local ghost tours, and whenever they went on vacation with the family, he would beg and plead and save his money to spend one night at that haunted plantation down in Jacksonville, or he'd have to go to spend have dinner at that one restaurant where that one gangster got gunned down, because supposedly that bar is haunted. It scared the crap out of him, but he just felt like he had to do it. He was connected for some reason to the supernatural. And he even started a ghost hunting club in high school. Just try to stay connected with that part of himself no matter what. And he got his friends into it, even got his boyfriend into it. And he's, despite his constant pull towards the supernatural, CJ is very much terrified of all things supernatural. He thinks anything and everything is a ghost. If the AC turns on and it makes a loud thunk, oh, it's a ghost knocking on the door. He bumps into something and accidentally knocks it off. He thinks a ghost did it. The curtains move ever so slightly because the AC or something moved it. It was a ghost, even though there's something completely logical behind it. He's every skeptic's worst nightmare. He's the person that'll straight tell you, oh, I feel nauseous and gross and all this other stuff, and it's just really bad wiring. He's really sensitive to that kind of stuff. Even, off the show, he still acts this way. He's extremely jittery and all that, but he's gone above and beyond to make sure that his house is blessed. He has has a Catholic priest come to the house once a month to do a blessing. He has, he goes to the local Native American, reservation and gets their blessings, that anything and everything that he can get blessed, to make sure he's clean. He will go ahead and do that. He's just really paranoid about that kind of stuff. In terms of appearance, CJ has a beard and short shaved hair and a nice pink little mohawk. He switches between having contacts and glasses. He's got he's rather tall, very handsome, very slender. He's absolutely how do I put this? You look at him and you just no, this guy can't be that skittish, no way. But no, he's absolutely very skittish. He's also extremely a family person, family oriented, uses a lot of self-deprecating humor, loves taking care of people. Despite if he's not feeling all that appreciated or cared about by the people he cares about, he still goes above and beyond to take care of these individuals. And as he got older, Chris is only 22. He's still quite young. He kind of learned that he had this weird ability, and that's where we go into Starlight. It's a pretty interesting pneumonia where it allows an individual to actually go into this place called the Shadowlands, which is where a lot of ghost spirits, these, wraiths even, exist in this alternate world. I guess you could kind of like say limbo, and Starlight allows him to open a doorway into this Shadowland, this alternate place, and it gives him kind of like a little barrier also while entering this area. You can still get hurt there, but it's not it's like a pure night sky with just lights everywhere, absolutely gorgeous, but it's the whole creatures that go bump in the night that exist in this other place. And he learned by daydreaming that he actually can enter this place, and it's pretty terrifying.
Excellent. Thank you. Very good explanations. Next up is Lupe. I'm saying that right. Yes, Lewis?
Yeah, you are.
Okay. Lupe, tell us about your character. Tell us about your background, how and why you became a ghost hunter, what it's like being you with your gifted talents. Also tell us what you look like and how you typically act during a ghost hunting session. And tell us about ghost hacking.
So, Lupe keeps it nice and simple every day. He's just wearing a nice button up, only ever buttons up 2 buttons. He's a very simple man, and he knows that if you are getting chased and shit's grabbing you, you don't need to undo all the buttons. Only do up 2 buttons. That's the best piece of advice I can give you. He's pretty chill, trying to be helpful. You wouldn't know that initially, like, he grew up in a bad place, wanted to get out of there, started learning to mess with computers and stuff like that, and just one night starts having bad dreams, and like it just keeps getting worse. Like over the course of a year, he's thinking he's losing his mind, that he's someone else, but he starts to get a bit better contact over that, like, thinks maybe it's puberty, but as he becomes like 14, he finally gets a clear message that one of his neighbors, this kid about his age, was killed by his parents, and like he was somehow that kid could contact him. Being a dumb teenager, he's like went in on it, like took all the information, found out that like there was footage of it on the dad's phone, broke in, took the evidence, tried to download it. He's still a teenager, kind of dumb, messes up all the footage, has no case. The parents just say like, this kid's a fake, whatever. Lupe decides from there on out, he's got a little bit of a skill set. He's gonna help tell the stories of these people that didn't get justice. So he's come out, got a bit of word of wisdom, wants to listen to these stories. He's a bit of a black hat. After learning from that, he put himself right into the computers, and he's learned how to get the information, and it's like just almost magic. Like he could just find out all these like particular stories, and he's not always sure. He feels like sometimes he can just really do well at Google searches or searching the internet, but most of the time it's a direct contact. He is a little bit too attuned to spirits, and they're a little too good at getting into his way. But now he's joined the show. He's been a bit of a lightning rod for ghosts and such. So they love him on the camera. He doesn't want to be on the camera. He just wants to get the information and put it out there. But he's just not necessarily the luckiest person. So.
I like it. Right in the feels with the kid. Okay. Next up is Aldis. Aldis? Are you Aldis?
Aldis.
Darn. Next up is Aldis. Okay, Aldis, tell us about your character. Tell us your background, how and why you became a ghost hunter, what it's like being you. Also tell us what you look like, how you typically act during a ghost hunting show session, and tell us about necromancy.
So, I am Aldis Marks. And as you could tell from the beginning intro, just, kind of just a gruff old guy, and I just been around a couple of years. So Aldous is... So first off, Aldous is the oldest person in the crew. He's about 68 years old. And his entire life, he's pretty much just kind of always been an asshole. It's the only real way to describe him. Perpetual rain on everyone's parade. At university, he was the last project partner anyone would want, despite being a pretty excelling student. After university, unable to hold down a job because, after being there for a few months, you're just not a good fit for the company. Just couldn't get along with anybody. The old saying, if everyone you meet is an asshole, you're the asshole. Yeah. So that's kind of his story. Everyone he meets, he thinks is the problem, and he just reacts in that way, and he is the problem. Like, everything about his failed relationships is entirely on him, but he doesn't see it that way. So at some point in the time after university, before kind of falling into where we are now, he discovers the paranormal, and he's like, maybe I can fit in with this kind of group of misfit, outcasts. And when he gets in with that group and he starts kind of going on his first, ghost hunts, probably back in the 70s, he's just like, this isn't what I thought. This is just a bunch of idiots, walking around houses yelling at walls. So once again, everyone else is the idiot, not him. And he doesn't put the time or effort in, but he digs deeper. He goes into it himself, and eventually he finds a couple of forbidden pieces of knowledge, and he discovers the writings of necromancy. And he thinks, well, maybe if I can control spirits, I can at least get them to act the way that I can at least get along with them. I can finally just have a decent conversation with somebody. But the demands of necromancy are quite high. One of the things about so hedge magic necromancy, it's similar to it falls under the same category of hedge magic as Chris's powers, but this is a little bit different. One of the things that it requires is you have to have a piece of a family member's bone or blood or something like that, and you have to petrify it or keep it on you. The sacrifices are great, and the terrors that come with it are mind-shattering. And as he falls into this and he starts getting into it more, he doesn't have connections or family to really be able to do that, until he finds out he actually has a son he didn't know about. His son contacts him. His son was 22 years old before he even knew that he was alive. And he's like, this is an opportunity. Okay. Over the course of about a year, they get together a couple of times. They try to meet each other. Somewhere along the way, he does sneak the thing that he needs to finally become a necromancer, but ultimately that relationship falls apart, once again entirely because of Aldous. And after about a year, his son decides, Dad, I just don't think we need to keep talking anymore. And he hasn't spoken to him since. That was almost 18 years ago now. He falls in with this group specifically because one of the things with necromancy is you have to go where the spirits are. You have to go where the ghosts are. And even though most ghost hunting experiences come out to, no real ghosts or anything like that, there's always the chance, there's always the possibility that one of these things is real. And if they're real, they bring me one step closer to being able to interact with the things that I want to interact with. So I stick around, I deal with these guys, and all their ridiculousness, the youths, in order for me to kind of go around and see if I can find the supernatural or the paranormal out there somewhere. My role in the group is actually the skeptic. Even though I know the paranormal is real, and I know that necromancy is real, and I know that it can be done, and I've gone into that path, and I've actually been able to successfully use it, one of the things with Aldous, because again, he just wants to rain on everyone's parade, is every time Chris is screaming, that's a ghost, Aldous is there, that ain't no goddamn ghost. That's just a breeze from the other room coming down the hallway. And that's what he does. He debunks everything in the show, which, again, he does primarily so that if he can't debunk it, then maybe there's something true to it that, again, helps him in regard to his necromancy. So the debunk to him is there for a very valid reason, but the way it ends up coming out is this incredibly sort of negative way. And that's what he does. That's how he interacts with people and the group. Specifically when it comes to necromancy. So I also have Numina. And with my dots, as I mentioned, I have to do is steal blood, bone, or flesh from the corpse of a family member, then preserve it. I did that a little. I didn't say corpse because I did use my son for that. I don't, so I stretched that. Maybe I did that wrong. But obviously, not the easiest thing to do. And as I mentioned, necromancy breaks people's minds. It has a massive toll, and it usually leads to madness or suicide at the end of it. Other than that, I have a couple of staves that I use, and what I do is I can write runes on either pieces of bone, or I can draw them on physical items and fill it in with blood, and then that gives it the power to interact with the spirit world and gives me glimpses into the underworld. So if I need to carve on like a door frame, I gotta fill those carvings in with blood, and then that will give me protections or draw spirits out.
Thank you.
My personal favorite power, by the way,
go ahead.
The first one you get, and the one that's awesome, is you can carve a rune into a piece of bone, and if you just hurl it at a ghost, it just terrifies them, and they get scared of you. So I'm gonna be using that one a lot. The only other thing that I would want to mention is that because he is such a jerk, he doesn't trust a lot of people, right? He's always looking for the debunk. He's always looking for something inconsistent. So he has the merit human lie detector, which means he gets bonuses when anyone or anything is deceiving him. He cannot perceive what the truth is. He's not a mentalist by any means. He just has a really good bullshit detector.
The only thing I have to say about your character is good.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Last but not least, we have Bradley. Bradley has no Numina. However, Bradley is still cool. Bradley, tell us about your character, your background, how and why you became a ghost hunter, and what it's like being you. Also, tell us what you're like in a typical ghost hunting show, and tell us all about your sexy 5-dot tech. And the new background that goes with it. It's from this book.
Let's just start off with the thing. Yeah, name's Bradley. My character is going to be the conspiracy theorist, as previously mentioned, and he came into being and not such a great childhood. Depending on who you would ask about it, it would be problematic to abusive. Just that there was always people, but they always put on a good face. No one ever saw what was going on, and that led for his home just to be not a happy one, and so that meant that he looked for other things outside, just exploring different places, going different places, getting on the bike, exploring random houses, even going so far as to pull off his own makeshift ghost hunting adventures in an old abandoned building that was in the middle of a cornfield. But it didn't matter to him. He made it real. And he just spent as much time away from home and away from people as possible. And when he decided that he was going to try and make something of his ability or his techniques, his abilities, specifically the tools that he had developed along the way, he noticed that the show was actually pulling into a town near him. And so all he did was go to that town, and then immediately, without asking any sort of questions or anything like that, he just walks past the cameraman and into the tech van and just starts talking tech. And he lays out a bunch of different devices he has. And then after about a half hour to an hour of just BSing, talking tech, going back and forth with these people this tech person, he's like, well, I'll just be an unpaid intern. I don't care. I just want to follow you. Is that fine? Is that okay? And eventually they're like, well, it's not really okay if you're unpaid, but you got some great ideas. Can't have you here unless you're paid. Sorry. And he's like, oh yeah, you want to pay me? All right, that's fine. I'm gonna do that then. It's gonna be great. And he just can constantly go on and on and on, just a mile a minute. Specifically about tech things. Otherwise, he just doesn't want to talk. Like he doesn't like talking. He does the bare minimum as far as conversations on camera, which granted is a lot when you're talking about a ghost hunting show. But he's definitely more in his element when he has a camera in his hand and some sort of device, in the other.
That just leaves talking about your cool background, I think.
Yeah, the paranormal tools. So I have a ton. Like I had the reason I came here and the reason I'm being is because I have every gadget underneath the sun, and it's almost a little much if we're gonna be honest. I got night camera, night vision cameras, digital audio recorders, spirit boxes, and even some more devices of my own making. I can talk to ghosts. I can trap ghosts temporarily. I can make a one-off device that traps a ghost at my fifth dot. Man, there is some sexy stuff in here, and I highly recommend anyone, if they get a chance, to take this perk, because I am going to enjoy this immensely.
Okay. Now, on to the spooky woo. We're going to get creepy. We'll talk about each of your characters' fears and worst memories. For the audience, when these things come up, when the house starts to mess with them and try to drive them insane, you'll know why and who it's targeting. When each player was asked to come up with this list and send them, they were also told bonus points if you use your real life fears, so you can get for real creeped out. So, when I come to you and you talk about your fears, let us know which ones are for real yours and which belong only to the character. And then obviously, at least in most cases, the worst memories are character only. So, in the same order as before, let's begin with Cass.
Oh, yay. So, I used all of my real life fears for my character because I'm either stupid or a masochist. We'll find out. I know the answer to that, but we'll leave it to the audience to figure it out. And those fears are heights, falling from heights, centipedes, drowning, fires, cancer, discrimination, and being falsely accused of anything.
Yes, and most of those will come up, some of them in a much more serious manner than others. And now tell us about your character's worst memories.
Ah, yes. Worst memories. So, on visiting her mother in the mental health facility, the not good facility versus the one that Cass stayed in herself, the patients were not well taken care of. It was a little old-fashioned in that sense. So seeing them in such disrepair was terrifying for her. And then there was one patient in particular that wasn't properly treated for their ailments, and in specific, sundowners. And this person was a roommate with her mother at the time. And as soon as the sun went down while they were visiting, the patient's head just turned kind of clicky-like and looked at Cass and goes, "I'm going to eat your mother's flesh tonight." The end.
Oh my. I like it. That was all of them?
Yes.
Okay. Chris is next. Same routine.
I actually did kind of forget something earlier. I do apologize for that.
It's okay,
I
you can add it now.
I wanted to briefly mention that Chris actually joined the group because he was just surfing the web on one of the many forums that he goes on, and the producer of the show is actually looking for individuals in the community that might have been interested in joining. So Chris just said, you know what, fuck it, put an application in, and yeah, he's on the show. So yeah, there's that. And going in regards to the fears, I used my personal fears. There are quite a few of them. Some were I'm more willing to share than others, but in this case, I picked being buried alive, spiders, something lurking in the darkness that he can't see, that his sleep paralysis demon is actually real, not just, his mind tricking him, being told that no one loves him, not being able to breathe, heights, being trapped like in an elevator and falling from said heights, being abandoned or forgotten, and agoraphobia, which really bothers me just thinking about it. In regards to his worst memory, it's also like just a major life-changing event for him. It was pretty recent that his boyfriend and his high school sweetheart, got into a really bad car accident. It was raining and the brakes gave out. Something happened. They just failed. And unfortunately, his boyfriend crashed into a car and didn't make it. He wasn't there when it happened. He was on, off on assignment from the show when it happened. But he got the call and he left. So he had to leave in the middle of shooting episode. But it was pretty recent and it still bothers him a lot. But it was definitely something that really messed with him pretty hard.
Perfect. That was the full list? Just want to make sure I'm not interrupting you. Okay.
That is the full list.
Perfect. Next up, Lupe.
Big fear that ends up being interpersonal is just he's afraid of kids, not necessarily that oh, they're scary, he knows he can punch a kid, but he at the very same time it's kind of where his trauma comes from, and he's constantly reminded about the kid he let down, essentially. So there's a horror there that isn't just this physical oh, it's a little kid that's scary. It's the failing someone and kids just personify that. That's number one fear. He's definitely afraid of like running into a big bad ghost, Wraith level, something's gonna smack him down because he's luckily enough met some nice ones so far. But the what would probably catch him right after that is anything that's like possibly rotten food. He's like terrified of rotten food, and it just like he doesn't want to get caught on the toilet when there's a haunting. So he's like constantly trying to minimize what he eats. Those would be the main three fears. It's like being weak, letting people down, and there's something big and bad out there.
And what about your worst memories?
The ridicule after, while there was no investigation into why this kid went missing or anything like that, because of the failure Lupe had. He's known as that kid who ruined the investigation. Now no one can get justice. Even though it's like there wasn't going to be anything until he brought up, but then he messed it up. And it's like this, that's his legacy right now. And like, it's been 15 years and he still can't get it out of his head.
Perfect. Next up, cranky old Aldous.
Yes. So for Aldous, his worst fears are definitely the things that he makes happen, obviously, to himself ultimately. So he has a fear of loneliness, the fact that he can't make these human connections, that lack of connections, like not being able to ultimately connect with anybody or anything, and not leaving anything behind. He's actually a very smart, well-informed person. He knows a lot of, with the necromancy too, a lot of both practical knowledge and things with his age, and also the sort of supernatural thing. And he wants secretly deep down inside to have someone to share that with. He just pushes everyone away because he sucks. So not having anything to leave behind for other people, loneliness, not making any human connections.
And your worst memories, sir?
Sorry, one other thing. He's actually, because he's seen beyond the veil and he's seen what actually lies, he's afraid of death, but not dying itself. The actual, I'm old and I'm gonna die, that's not really something he's afraid of. It's where he goes when he dies. He's terrified of what place in the afterlife he ends up in and wanting to avoid the really bad parts, which some of that's within his control and some's not. One more. Because again, he's a necromancer and he knows that people can manipulate your spirit after death. He is terrified of someone taking control of him once he's dead and using his spirit or manipulating his spirit in the way that he sometimes does to others.
Excellent.
My worst memories. That general feeling of being, one of the better performing students in school and university, and just no one wanting to work with him and not ever really having project partners or someone to work with. Worst memories is definitely just going to be that feeling of being in class and no one and everyone refusing to work with him. Also, the call the day that he found out he had a son and feeling nothing other than just okay, I guess I'll try this. He hated that call. He hated finding that out. And then, but on the other side of that, the other worst day was definitely the day he got the call and his son told him, I don't really want to ever see you again. You're just too much of a negative part of my life. So, two ends of the extreme there. Finding out, but then also his son leaving him.
Perfect. And last but not least, Bradley.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so, like a lot of everyone here, I used a lot of my own fears. So I guess the sorry, my daughter decided to take a head diving for me. The biggest one is just the fear of rejection. I suppose he does not believe that what he does is good enough, and that's been reinforced at certain points in his life for a very long time. And so he never believes that it's ever enough, that he's ever enough. And then that goes a lot into the fear of the unknown, because if he's never enough, then like how can he face something that he doesn't know? But don't worry, he knows a lot. He knows everything. So there's no reason to be worried, right? His childhood a lot of the time was not a great one, to not get into too many details, but he came very close to his he came very close to him and his dad having let's call it an irreparable something irreparable happening to him, and that's left a very very chilling mark. He started to understand that he was he was not enough, and that he might never be enough for anyone or anything, and that's what he took away from that day. And yeah, that's it was again reinforced years later when he before he was on the show, he did have a wife, and not a family by any stretch of the imagination, but he had a wife, and because of his constantly never thinking that he was enough, or never doing enough in her eyes, she left him, and she told him exactly that was a thing for that was the reason she did leave him. And so those are his worst memories.
That's dark and depressing. I like it. Okay. So, let's get into the beat of this thing. So as we discussed, you all make enough money from the show to pay for cheap apartments, hotel rooms, eat poorly and cheaply on the road, and maintain your high level of equipment. Some of you have money from other sources also. As a group, you have an SUV and a sedan to get around. Both are a few years old but reliable. You've been a team since February of 2016. It's currently October of 2020. You are currently just arriving at a creepy-ass house somewhere in the Midwest. The house is extremely remote. Every time it sells, the buyers bail within weeks. This has happened double digits amount of times in the last 20 years. The current owners are due to meet you once you arrive. You'll need to interview them, set up the hunt, and then do the show. You're hoping this will be the one that'll get you onto the pick staff to relaunch your careers beyond the internet. So let's take a moment for you to get in character, and then we shall begin with you a mile or so from the house, split between your vehicles, communicating via walkie-talkie.
Hey, computer kid.
So,
Just make sure you send me over all plans, renovations, permit licenses, things like that. I always want to see where all the, drafts and connections and rooms are going to be in this house. Make sure we can just get ahead of where Chris is going to feel those cold ghost drafts.
Full scope of the house, all measures of the perimeter. How far back do you want me to go? Like from first.
Well, the internet was only invented, 20 years ago, so I assume it only has 20 years worth of records, right?
There's got documents. I could find the local library stuff. I could have people fax stuff over.
Wait, you can find documents from before the internet?
Yeah, they can, make a copy of it, and then they'll send that copy.
Out of character, we've probably had this conversation 50 times about
100%.
About the internet. Look,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They'll make a copy. They don't send me that document. Don't worry about that. It's not some weird teleportation thing. It's
right.
They get a copy.
Okay.
They send me a note.
And how long does it take the copy to get here?
Depends on how much I need, but a couple minutes. Same as a phone call.
Just send it to me.
So, before you go farther, I should also mention the split is Aldous, Lupe, and Cass all drive around in the sedan, while the SUV with all the equipment always carries Chris and Bradley, because Chris and Bradley can go for hours and no one else wants to hear that. So have you heard about the most recent conspiracy? Oh my god, that's so true. Yeah. 8-hour road trip? So that's your layout. Carry on.
Okay.
So in that case, Aldous is definitely doing the pointing at the computer. What's that? What's that do?
You know what? I'm running into some issues. Why don't you go scout the perimeter, find any places that you think are a good note, and I'll let you know when I get that information back.
Okay.
He says that as you come up near to your turn. He says that as you're coming up to your turn, we're going to pull into what looks like a long gravel driveway.
Okay.
The sedan is in the lead. Apparently, since you're pointing at the computer, that would mean that Cass is driving.
That sounds right to me.
I'm fine with that.
I don't know how to drive.
Cass, as you go to turn into the gravel driveway.
And if I was driving, an 8-hour drive becomes 2 days.
As you pull to turn into the gravel driveway, Cass, this is a narrow gravel driveway flanked on either side by thick trees, half foliage, half dead stick branches now, leaning ominously over the road, creating almost a canopy that blocks the light out. The road goes for about a quarter mile and then takes a sharp turn to the left. You can't see anything beyond that. Just ominous looking winds and a stiff breeze on an overcast October day. Out of the shadow of the trees right to your path steps what looks like, at first glance, a small girl in a torn, ragged white dress covered in red splotches. Steps right into the path of your SUV or your sedan and locks eyes with you, and gives you the most evil, hideous smile you could ever see coming from a child. And then the whole face twists and distorts as the smile stretches way too far, revealing a mouth full of jagged teeth, and the eye sockets just melt around the eyes and droop open, revealing empty black chasms.
I'm
gonna need you.
Those brakes.
Gonna need you to make a courage roll for the first roll of the game.
Oh god.
Aldous and Lupe, you see nothing.
Oh, what's the difficulty?
6.
Okay, that is done. Okay, I have to toggle that. Result is 1.
Stand by. Slight music adjustment. that better, Mr. Producer? Okay. Worst case scenario, if we both slide, it'll get real loud. Okay. 1 success is marginal success to the world of darkness. 3 successes is complete, and 5 is critical. So, you can role play it terrifying you for a moment before you realize that's not only not there and not a spirit, that's a vision. Like you're seeing something that either you forgot about or has not happened yet. However, before you realize that, you do have a momentary loss of control. So, describe to us what happens.
All of a sudden, the passengers hear Cass shriek, and the steering wheel jerks and kind of flings a bunch of equipment to the side, and possibly the passengers a little bit. But she regains control of the vehicle, and she just stops. And she's just panting.
Hard slam on the brake stop.
Yes.
Perfect.
Oh god.
So who's driving the SUV? You? All right. Bradley, please make a drive.
Oh.
Chris says he'll drive.
I'll
Chris,
drive. Yeah.
Please make a drive plus dexterity roll. Difficulty 7.
Oh shit.
The sedan just like insta stops right as you're turning into the gravel driveway, so there's nowhere to go.
I don't have anything in drive. Wait, no, I got 1 in drive. I have 1 in drive. Okay, drive and what else?
Dexterity.
Oh, okay. I got this. I got this.
Yeah, you do.
Difficulty 6?
7.
Oh, okay. How do I change that difficulty then?
Top of the sheet. You see bonus dice up there and a difficulty button. Right. Also, for those of you who haven't had a lot of experience with these sheets, if you click the checkbox by your willpower, it will add 1 automatic success, because that's what willpower does. If you want to change the difficulty, double-click the number to whatever I tell you to set it to. It's almost always 6. And if you need to add bonus dice, add the number, or add it as a negative if you have a penalty.
Okay, try that again. I got a 5!
You actually have run no risk whatsoever of hitting the sedan. You actually managed to stop gently, so Bradley doesn't even get flung into the dashboard.
Yes.
That could have been so badly. Can you believe the amount of equipment we have back there? What the hell?
My face almost hit the steering wheel.
Yeah, my camera almost hit the steering wheel.
Oh,
What's happening in the lead car?
Did you see that? Did anyone see that? Probably not. It was a vision. That was definitely a vision, I think. I really hope that was a vision. I'm pretty sure that was just a vision.
All I saw was the back of that seat when I slammed into it. You gotta not hit the brakes like that. My arm hurts, and I could have shoulder damage.
Both cars hear this because Cass is freaking out enough to grab the walkie-talkie. So you can all interact in the scene.
I saw a vision.
I saw a vision too. My face hitting the steering wheel.
No.
What was the vision?
More important than your face. There was
in my face.
a
Wrong
little
with his
girl,
face?
and she ran out in front of the vehicle, and her face distorted, and it was terrible. And it wasn't a spirit, and it wasn't anything else other than a vision. It was a vision.
And what?
I ain't seen nothing in that window.
No, it's because you're not a medium. You have to trust me. I'm a medium. I know these things.
Cass.
I mean, I thought you wore like a small. Okay. You're like what, a size 2, size 3?
Oh, you flatter me. No. But you have to trust me. I saw something. We shouldn't go to this next house. I've never seen anything like that.
I should point out, too, you have worked together for 4 years, so you're aware of each other's capabilities. Doesn't mean you all believe in it, but you've seen some weird shit with each other. Nothing truly terrifying, but some weird shit.
So, you saying there's a girl?
I look over at all this, and it's like he knows this shit. It's like, is he gonna explain this one away? Like, all I got is a small girl. Like, any dress, any like time frame?
It was tattered. It was a tattered dress, and her face, it distorted into this evil grin, and it then her eyes melted, and her eye sockets expanded, and it was just terrible. It was absolutely terrible, and I haven't seen anything that bad since that one time.
I mean, okay, so is this warning something we normally get when we go to a place like this? Or in most places,
No.
just like
The most
it's
you've
fine.
ever experienced as a group, you have experienced actual supernatural because your producer had a magic touch. See what I did there for those who watch all our shows?
Nice.
However, it's always been lower key. Like, you've seen things move. You've had things open and slam shut. You've seen shadow people moving around. Some of you have been flung around, but, you know, if a Ghost Hunter show was real, you've experienced that. Nothing more. At least as a group. Individually, yeah, some of you have seen more, but not as a group.
So, but to answer Lupe's question, at this point in time, you know I can't disprove anything. We don't have any information. Cass, we know you have the vision, but...
Yes, I'm having a vision of a stick up your butt.
No, we don't need no proving. We already know Cass. She don't tell the truth. There was a little girl, even though we don't see her, she gonna ride in front of the thing. I need to call my meme. I'll let her know I love her, so she don't go haunt me and have a heart attack.
I mean,
No.
I believe she saw it, but
Yeah.
I mean, where are we gonna go? We do have a quota to fill though as well.
That girl could be haunting the road, not the house. Like,
Yeah,
that
we don't
puts
know
us in a
anything
Oh,
whole
about
hell
different
no. I don't
place.
need no
Like,
ghost girl coming up on here and switching the channels on me. I got it on the perfect channel for each state for the right radio station. I don't need nobody getting rid of my country. Shoot, no.
If we consider the fact that the ability to see specters from the house to the outside is a common phenomenon, we can probably be able to correlate. Driveways are probably the most haunted places in America.
Tell that to Louisiana.
I mean, the man makes a good point. I mean, obviously you have
I've never
to.
thought of that before.
Yeah.
So, one,
Yeah, I mean, just-
we can neither confirm nor deny an actual haunting of any sort. Cass, again, we know your gifts and your abilities, but it's been a long drive. You're a little tired. Maybe watched a scary movie recently. Maybe saw just something in, daydreaming. We'll figure it out. Don't worry. We'll figure it out. Just keep going. Just park. Look, we got a parking spot right up there, right nice and close. My shoulder's still
He
hurts.
points at the curve in the road that you can't actually see what's past it.
Just pull right up onto the house. Dude, I don't want to walk too far.
Cass drives slowly the rest of the way.
Do you roll down the windows or anything like that, or just keep going?
Yes. Roll down the windows.
You can hear the sound of the wind through the branches and popping loose the dry leaves, that awesome fall rustle it makes if you've experienced it in a state or part of the world that has that. And you can hear the wind blowing and your tires crunching on the gravel. Everything else is deadly silent. This carries on through 3/4 of a mile of a twisting and turning gravel driveway through the woods. No birds, no animals, just the wind and the gravel under the tires.
Like I said, nice parking spot. Right up here. Just keep going. Right up. Keep going.
At the end of the driveway,
just
at the last turn in the gravel driveway, is an old cattle gate, like you'd have at a ranch. It's like a low gate, but it's high enough to stop the cows, and it's really wide and swings open with a gentle push, but only from one direction. It's already swung open. It's terribly rusted, hasn't been maintained for a long time. There's an overgrown yard that has multiple dead brown spots in it, and both of the trees in the yard, which is very large, are completely devoid of leaves and skeletal branches. No leaves under the trees either. There's a car parked exactly 20 meters from the gate, which is actually about 50 more meters from the house itself. And you can see two people in the car. It's a green sedan. The house itself looks like an old, dilapidated, unwell cared for country home, like a farmhouse. And off behind that is a collapsed structure that's just rotten wood and beams. It was probably once a barn.
Well, I can tell you exactly why people keep buying this house and moving out. You get a lot of these young couples coming in, want to buy their dream home, think that they can afford this much house, this much land. Then they finally get here and they see how much it's going to cost and how much it's going to be to fix it up. Oh my God, it's haunted. We want our money back. Seen it 100 times.
This is a state that does have a haunting disclosure requirement law, FYI, so he could be right.
Whose car is that?
You would assume that's the person you're supposed to meet here, the current owner. Who, by the description, should be a slightly overweight, middle-aged, white lady.
Is that who's in the car?
Can't tell from here. You still haven't pulled through the gateway.
Good. Cass, pull up alongside. I'll talk to him.
Oh yeah, yes, no problem. I'm gonna do slow this time.
No ghost children get in your way. You were able to pull up alongside of the green sedan, and then the SUV pulls up alongside of you. They can only hear what you're saying if you relay it over the walkie-talkie, or if you all get out.
I'll roll down my window.
Okay, so you're a driver passenger. You roll down your window.
Mm-hmm.
You point at the car and you're like,
yeah,
because you're an old man and cranking's a thing.
Exactly. You gotta crank the window down. For the youths out there, you used to have to hand crank windows.
The driver's side window goes down, and it's a middle-aged gentleman with salt and pepper hair and a bushy as all hell beard, slightly overweight.
What's the name of
his nose tells you he likes to drink. And next to him is the lady you were told to expect with wild curly hair.
Oh, okay. So she is there.
In the passenger seat.
Do we know her name?
They both look at you with obvious trepidation and anxiety.
Do we know
her name is Marcia. His name, you don't know. But if it's her husband, because you do your research, it's John.
John. Marcia and John. Okay. You John?
Yeah.
You Marcia?
You looks at his phone. Felix? Oh, Aldous. Sorry. You Aldous?
Felix.
Who's Felix?
Sorry, I was looking at the wrong message. This is a potential buyer. We're trying to get rid of this goddamn shithole.
Let me guess. Haunted.
He just kind of looks at you. But his wife leans over him and says, "You have no idea."
Uh-huh. All right. Look, we're going to pull up to the house. You want to come up? We'll take your statement.
You want to talk to me? You'll talk to me right here, says the wife. The husband nose size. You know, like...
Can I try to read them and figure out, like...
Yes. Go ahead and roll empathy.
And that's attached to...
Don't want to cross the streams. I'm checking.
Perception, right?
Correct. Empathy plus perception. Standard difficulty.
Roll the dice. 3 successes.
3 successes. Complete success. It seems that she is legitimately terrified of the house. He is put off by it. It gives him trepidation, but he doesn't have the level of fear she does. You extrapolate with a complete success that she spent far more time in it than he has. most likely house flippers. But they'd make a quick sale. They haven't lived in it. That's your guess.
Okay, interesting. All right. So, yeah, pretty terrifying, pretty crazy, pretty good. Yeah. What's the just out of curiosity, what was your budget to repair this place? Get it up and presentable.
You'd interrupt at this point, Bradley, and say, "Oh no, we got to get set up and do the interview right."
Oh yeah, the interview. Okay, yeah, you know what?
Yeah, I mean, we gotta get going. I only got a limited amount of time to get this whole thing recorded. I mean, I got cameras to set up, audio to do. We got to get these guys mic'd.
Yeah, if you just you meet with this young, strapping, handsome fellow back here, right? Just go ahead, just sit down. He's gonna talk to you. There's gonna be a camera. It's gonna be shining in your face, right? Okay. Just go ahead and tell us everything that we want to know. Well, don't worry, we'll get this taken care of for you. And turn around. There ain't shit here.
I'm already halfway into the van, just pulling out
Yeah.
cameras and cords. Like you can talk to them. I'll be back here. All right, and then I just got the big bulbous camera right here, just right here, waiting after we're done here. Who wants to conduct said interview this time?
Go ahead and roll. This is for you, John. Go ahead and roll wits.
Wits.
Yep.
Like, Chris is like our host, right? Yeah, CJ's like our host, right?
CJ is the face, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Wits and computer, John, to set up your equipment.
Okay. 3, 4.
Standard difficulty.
Standard difficulty of 6.
Correct.
I gotta learn how to use this. Use a sheet. I apologize. What's and computers. So I just click on the 2 dots there, right next to wits and computers.
Correct.
And
The
then
check boxes.
how do I roll said thing?
After you click both of the check boxes, there's a roll dice button.
The default might be D.
Correct. What Lewis said. It's in the quick action bar. Number 1 key on your keyboard.
Oh, I'm just
Yeah, Nathan's
blind.
been putting them all in the quick action bar for us.
nice. A 1. I got a 1.
One success is marginal, so you're able to throw the equipment together, but maybe you're a little jittery from the weird, almost wreck you had. It'll work, though. You might pick up a lot of ambient background noise, but you can edit that in post-production.
We're gonna have to go ahead and fix that. I mean, I told him 1,000 times, we need shielding on this cable.
So, you line everyone up. Which means in front of the camera, we have Chris in the front, striking a manly, sexy Chris man pose. And then flanking him to the left and right, but slightly behind, would be Lupe and Cass. And then somewhere in the back, looking grumpy, would be Aldous. Aldous usually crosses his arms and says yes. Completely unrelated to a real-life Ghost Hunter show person that may also look like that. You set up the opening shot, you take footage for a minute, and then you do a 20-second sound check for ambient sound, and then you can begin the interview, Chris.
All right, so
And you'd want to start with, "We're standing here today," that kind of thing. You can call it the old McMurty place.
McMurray.
McMurty.
Murty. Okay. Out of character. What state is this in?
Somewhere in the Midwest. Let's put it in Iowa.
Iowa. Okay.
In the middle of nowhere, so you don't have to worry about referencing a town.
Okay, it's not a problem for me. Alrighty. Alright. So we're standing here at the McMurdy house. and the place known for the birthplace of sliced bread, Iowa. Here, this home has tormented countless individuals, countless families. Here we have the current homeowners who just seem to want to get rid of the house just as quickly as they have received it.
John and Sharon Blaskowitz.
John and Sharon have been tormented ceaselessly in trying to renovate this home to make it more than it already is. But it seems that our benevolent guests have other ideas. Ma'am, would you mind telling me what your experiences have been in this home?
She looks at you, blinks a little bit, might make a comment about you not using the last name, decides she doesn't care. She actually visibly shivers and crosses her arms like you do when you're cold and looks towards the house and says, "We've only owned this place for a couple months. We were going to fix it up and resell it. Maybe fix the barn too. A nice retirement country home for a family or maybe an older couple. First time I walked in the house, though, I knew it was evil. Just the feeling you get when you walk inside. And the things I saw in there. First day we came, we thought we would just spend the night, camp out. Haven't done that in a long time, but my husband got called into work." She mentions what he does. It's largely irrelevant to the story. "So I took care of it myself, he and the dog." Gets a far away, sad look in her eye. She mentions the dog. "Spent the night in the house. And immediately, sleep paralysis, which I've never experienced before, even though I know what it is. Except when I woke up from the terrifying experience of not being able to move and feeling like I was being crushed, and seeing the terrible figure made of shadows leering over me. When I woke up, I had horrible pain in my back of my leg and the front of my chest, and I had terrible claw marks. They burned like fire. They never did heal right. And she lifts her dress enough to show you the leg, and the scars are gnarly. Like that long. And there's 3 of them in the jagged procession. As soon as dawn broke, I got back in the car and got out of there, and I'll never go back in that house again. The nightmares that place gave me that night." Her eyes get a faraway look. If you're muted.
You've been so brave to share this story with us, ma'am. I appreciate you more than you could ever imagine. Supernatural is so scary.
She's staring at the house, completely distracted, just kind of nods distractedly at you.
I'll make sure to
You
get
could ask the husband questions if you wanted to also. Completely up to you how you handle the scene.
Yes.
Ma'am, if you don't mind, can I get a real quick shot? You said you had those scars that just needed a little bit better light. Can I get if you don't mind? If you don't mind.
She glares at you. Guess that's a no.
I do apologize, but thank you.
Now, sir, I'm just wondering, what have your experiences been in regard to this house?
I never spent any time in the actual house. It does have an off-putting feeling out here, but I mean, it is isolated and remote. Look at how the house is built. Have you looked at the topographical plans?
About half an hour away from that.
Ah, I see.
You got a copy on hand? Because I'd love it. Save me some phone calls.
He says, "Look it up on Google Earth. You'll understand."
Well, that's just ominous.
open up a tab, put that in. Don't search just yet.
Okay. He says the layout of the house, the way it's built, I mean, look at it. You do look at it, and it's painted in a very dark color, almost black on the outside, which is weird. And the windows are very small and spaced very far apart, also strange. And the eastern wall, which would be left from your orientation, has no windows at all. He says, but I mean, that just means it was built by a weird eccentric guy. No offense, hun, but I believe she experienced something here, but I don't know if it was demons. She definitely had an experience, though. It's clear that he's trying not to make his wife angry. All I know are the stories, which you can look up yourself. But we're a team, and she wants rid of the place. We're getting rid of the place. Me, she wants this exposed so people stay away from here. Me, maybe this will give us some exposure and we can sell the house quicker. He leans in. Haunted houses are a commodity these days, you know. Wink. Looks at you, John. Edit that out.
Right, gonna get right on that.
Well, since he brought it up, gonna get the soundbite. Like, why haven't you registered this house as a haunted house?
It is. It has been since 5 or 6 years ago. Don't mean nothing to us. We flipped other haunted houses. It's always just uneven cabinets or broken wind shutters.
I mean, if you don't mind me asking, you said your wife said she had a physical manifestation. How do you explain that?
I don't, because I wasn't there. I can't speak to it. Without having experienced it, it wouldn't be fair of me to make a judgment.
What do you think caused the scratches on your wife's leg?
She gives him a look, and he gives her a look, and he just kind of shrugs. And she rolls her eyes and gets back in the car, and he's like, probably the dog. She probably got excited in her sleep. She has night terrors, and if she kicked it, it might have clawed her. Don't know for sure, though, because dog ran away before she left that next morning, and we have never found him. Might still be around here somewhere.
All right.
It's a shame. I'll keep an eye out for him. So I'll let you know if we find it somewhere down the road.
I do have one question. You said that you were kind of camping out, right? Doing like a kind of rustic first night here. What room exactly was it that you slept in that night?
You're asking him? Because she got back in the car.
Where did she sleep that night? What room?
Living room.
Living room. Okay. So I on the floor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. My only question. How much do you think you're going to get for this house?
He says, I don't know. If we can't repair it, hopefully we'll at least get what we invested in it. It's dumb.
Yeah.
Out here, 20 or 30 grand.
All right. Yeah. Perfect.
What were you going to say, Lupe?
I was asking what the dog's name was.
Russell.
Russell.
It's Jack Russell Terrier. Let's see what they did there.
Oh, and here I thought you were doing the rustle, like the rustle of the leaves.
And dog can go rest me up some grub.
You know, it makes sense that it was the living room where she felt this experience. Living rooms, I've learned in my experience, are the most haunted. Like, a lot of crazy stuff happens in living rooms.
She rolls down the window, looks towards Lupe because he's the nearest person to the passenger side, tosses you a set of keys, says, good luck, and rolls her window back up. The husband sighs, doesn't quite roll his eyes, but almost does. Passive-aggressive, almost eye roll. And he says, we'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m., collect the keys. I'm sure you'll be fine. He gets back in the car. He looks, right before he closes the door, he says, we'd love to stay and talk longer, When my wife refuses to be here past sundown, you look up and twilight is approaching. It's late afternoon in the fall.
Oh, sundown.
Oh, time to get out the flashlights.
Yay! Drive safe. Have a good day.
I go ahead and just get some good. Make sure to get some nice shots of them driving away. Wow, just wow. Okay, so make sure to just make sure I get a nice shot of them driving away, and then I'm gonna cut that together in almost like a stutter stop sort of deal. Once we get this, at least that's what he's thinking anyway. And it's just going to be like, okay, the car's driving down the driveway here, and then it's gonna cut, and then it's gonna just disappear. It's gonna be like it was never there. So this is gonna look great. It's gonna be fantastic. The ambience on this place is amazing.
I mean, it's a mighty nice looking house, but you can just tell some bad juju went on here. I bet you like at least 3 people done got murdered in here, and one of them hung himself in the attic. I bet you.
As I'm walking away, you're probably right about that. I'm gonna go ahead and we gotta start unpacking now. We're burning daylight.
You guys get all that ready, but Chris, I can tell you right here, right now, that ain't no goddamn ghost.
I
say that all the
disagree.
time, Al.
That lady, who says she doesn't camp all that often, came to a house that's clearly dilapidated, probably got loose floorboards, nails, rolled around on the floor at a weird place she's never been at before, you ever been in like a hotel or when you move into a new apartment and all the noises you're not used to? You think that place is haunted? Come on, seen it 100 times. She thrashed
there's
around,
a difference between a house settling, though.
Her. Come on, guys, we know better than this.
I mean, is there all this? How many things have you seen 100 times? It seems quite suspect. A little suspect right now. All this. I shout from the van.
I mean,
there was a
he's
little
only
girl.
see about 1.25 times a year for him to see it 100, like 100 of a thing.
Yeah, I mean,
he's at that point. You know,
he's lived a long and healthy life. I mean, he could get there. He could get there. I mean, I'm just saying it's unlikely is all. The math doesn't add up. Obviously, I mean, you're with me, right?
Bradley, I don't need your back talk. You respect your elders and you appreciate when I'm telling you something.
Yo, Albus, I think you're on something. We should definitely check the living room, see if there's like 3 nails that are all within like an inch of each other, like somewhere, because then that's easy. You know, find 3 exact nails that are perfectly spaced apart. Maybe she just scratched herself. You know,
yeah, I mean, it's an
easy thing to check.
Exactly.
Do you look up that thing he told you to look up?
Yeah,
now?
the parameters and the topography.
When you're looking at it, you don't get it at first. It looks like almost looks like 2 trailers put together, like at cross beams. It's like long and narrow, and then another long and narrow piece. Then you turn your phone, and your eyes widen a little bit as it sinks in. In a perfect north, south, east, west orientation, it's an upside down cross.
Oh hell no! No. That I'm telling you, there's some bad juju.
You do the quick math, like precise measurements.
Right. Okay, I get to work on like putting this in like a graph and like perfectly drawing the lines in paint. It's like, shit, this is perfect. Like the freaking people who built it perfectly aligned. Holy, this is a great piece of information.
The people who
I shout, I could use some help from the van.
Yeah, I'm coming, Bradley.
I only got 1 pair of arms back here.
I can't touch anything that is an electronic or even touch you all. I have to remain pure to be able to receive the energies of this house.
Well, okay, that's a given. That always works. You know that always works. But the rest of y'all, get your butts back here.
I'm coming, Bradley. Jeez.
You've all done your research on this house. It's called the McMurdy place because Alton McMurtis was the original builder. He was, shocker, a very weird, eccentric, and reclusive guy. This was way back in the 1700s when this was first built. This house is old. A lot of weird rumors about the guy. Talk of witchcraft and devil worship, of course. He died in the house along with his entire family. He disappeared for no one saw them for like a month. So when the town finally came to check it out, because back then it took a long time before they noticed you didn't come around, they found him hanging in the attic. Points to whoever said that.
I called it.
And the family had been viciously murdered, butchered with knives. His wife, his teenage son, and his infant daughter. Then, from that point on, there's been a string of suicides and murders in the house down through the years until people stopped living in it.
And I mean, I'll give you one thing that the jury's still out on whether this place is haunted or not. We've definitely already seen a thing, but this place is definitely cursed. I tell you what, that's just not okay. I wouldn't move in here. I don't know what people do. Tell you what, though, it's gonna make this is good. This is gonna make for some very interesting information here. I tell you what.
Now, some people have managed to live in this house for decades, but they always end badly. And it's been almost 20 years since anyone actually lived in here. Since then, people buy it, stay for a very short period of time trying to fix it up and leave. Some of it is people saying it was haunted, but a lot of it is people having very strange and sudden bad luck.
I mean, this is fascinating. It doesn't really point to a haunting per se. But hey, let's get this stuff unpacked, and we'll get set up here in the house. Let's start grabbing briefcases of equipment.
Okay, so the house itself, the arms of the cross are bedrooms. It has 4 bedrooms, 2 on each side of the arm, and so like that's the cross piece. The top of the cross is where the utility room and 2 bathrooms are. And then the longest part of the house, the bottom of the cross, is where the living room, the dining room, the kitchen, and the study are. It's the layout of the house. The bedrooms and one of the bathrooms are upstairs. 2 of the bedrooms and one of the bathrooms are upstairs. The other 2 bedrooms and one of the bathrooms are downstairs.
Now, the first thing I do after a long road trip is unpack, and then I gotta beat it to that bathroom.
The attic is above the master bedroom on the 2nd floor, the master suite. The 1st floor, where the kitchen, the dining room, the living room, all of that are, there is no 2nd floor. The only part of the house that has the 2nd floor is the bedrooms and bathrooms in the attic. You walk up to the house, and the door is covered in graffiti of occult symbols, obviously put there by kids and whatnot. Yeah. No. Well, yeah, I mean, some of them they pulled off the internet, but it's all spray paint.
Okay, so... Alright.
Who has the keys? Can't get in without the keys.
I tell you what, the kids don't respect places like this anymore. I mean, it may be old and it may be haunted, but it's still a piece of our history. You can't just spray paint whatever you want on whatever the hell you want.
Aldous, you open the door?
Yeah, I have the keys.
Or, I'm sorry, Lupe. My bad.
Yeah, I get up there, like,
as soon as you turn the lock, it's like spiders crawling up your spine with icy little feet. The shiver makes all the hairs on your arms stand on end. You push the door open. Ominous creak. The inside of this house still even has furniture and shit in it from past visitors.
I mean, they just got up and left without the couch? Who leaves without their couch? It's pretty nice, too.
We can talk about specific furniture depending on the room you're in and tell you the probable history.
How are the energies in there?
Hey, are we inside right now or no?
Lupe probably opened the door and is like, "Yeah, go right ahead."
It's like, yeah, I'm gonna film it. CJ, you can go in.
I'm coming. Yeah. Oh man, I don't like being the first one to walk in the building.
Well, you're a front man. You're a face. You got to be the first one onto the breach, my man.
Yeah, I understand that. Oh my Lena. Okay. Oh, Mary, Joseph, baby Jesus, protect me. All right. And very carefully, he steps in, holding his breath with a flashlight in his other hand, and he's just kind of like looking around.
Okay, when you first walk into the house, it's a vestibule, which you don't see in houses much anymore. It's an area where you can walk in and take your coat off and sometimes sit down and wait, change your shoes, whatever. And there's an old antique, water-damaged wooden table there, and not much else. The floor has been stripped down to the bare wood. The walls have not been maintained. It smells like mold.
Tell you what, the smell of old musty house never gets old.
Out of
Ominous creaks from deeper in the house, many of them.
Okay, out of character, is there any electricity in this house still?
Nope.
Okay.
Not even any power lines, which you'll notice I didn't mention.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, in that case, you're gonna need to grab your flashlights. I got them right here in this briefcase.
All right. Hello? Is there anybody here? Anybody?
A door slams upstairs somewhere, and then slams
Holy
again.
No. Okay. I appreciate you letting me know that you are present and aware of me stepping into your home.
Chris.
I kindly ask that you not slam that door again, please.
Chris.
I think I'm packing up underwear for this.
The front door is open, which creates a differential of pressure, which means that the air rushes out, pulling with it any door that happened to be ajar. All you heard was a misaligned door getting moved by air. Come on.
You gonna prove this to them, Aldous, by going to check upstairs? None of the rest of them even want to go in the house.
Hey, Russell, could be the dog.
Look, hey guys, I know we're all kind of just milling about the entrance here, and we really are. Time is money right now, and we got like 50 more cases we got to get out of the back, and so I'm just gonna grab the 2 cases I got with flashlights and then some amount of motion detecting gear, and I'm gonna walk into the very first room.
Okay.
And just start
Aldous, are you gonna go upstairs to debunk the slamming doors?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we normally break apart and just go start checking stuff out, right?
I mean, Chris usually isn't too scared to even walk in the house. You might want to deal with that. Normally you do all that on camera, but
Right. That's what I was gonna say.
This place is freaking everyone out.
All right. Well, look.
I actually got like a flashlight and be like, all right, here, each of you take one of these.
Mm-hmm.
It's an LED flashlight. Here you go.
I mean, if you can just, if it's just a door, I'll buckle up.
Come on.
So that's why I don't like doing the interviews before we set up. They scare the shit out of me, man.
So you're gonna wait and check the door later, or you're gonna do it now? That's the big question.
Hey, I need to get some shots of like the house empty. Why don't me and Aldous just do like that scan, just double check, see what's up.
I almost it's not that I'm not. I don't want to go check the door upstairs, not because it's like so easily explained as to like not even make it a priority to go look at a door slammed upstairs.
Right.
So we've got
to make your coworkers
let Chris just be
feel
Chris,
better.
right?
Yeah, this is
Well, it's also like the two of us getting those shots of like, okay, here's like this noise and stuff like that. It's like it's better if we do it.
So the
first.
two of you are gonna go check it out.
Yeah, so I'll go.
You gotta try and go
with it,
debunk
whatever
it.
you- Yeah, whatever.
When
we
you
do,
walk
let's get
out of the
shot
vestibule, for the two of you, when you walk out of the vestibule, you come into the living room. The living room, the floor is bare and the walls are unkempt. That'll be the state of the entire house. The only thing that's in here is an old, rotten, and collapsed entertainment center from the 70s, maybe. And an easy chair, overstuffed, plaid, clearly late 60s, early 70s easy chair, jammed in one corner, just covered in ancient old red crimson splatters. There was an old man who lived here for like 30 years that blew his head off with a shotgun. That's probably the original chair. Heading out of that room, you head through the kitchen. The kitchen has old dishes everywhere and an old, like, 50s style fridge, but nothing else of real interest. There's no running water, there's no electricity. Heading past the kitchen, you're now at the upper part of the cross. You come to the stairs. You can finish looking at the downstairs or go right up and finish dealing with that. The two of you.
I tend to like going up the stairs.
Okay.
There's usually less escape routes down the stairs.
The large guest bedroom on your right when you come up off the stairs still has an old metal bed in it. It's got old corroded leather straps at either end of the headboard with what little flecks of rust attached to them, like maybe they were attached to handcuffs at some point. There's no mattress, but the frame itself is splattered with something crimson. God knows. The western bedroom, the master bedroom suite, has a canopy bed, except the canody's all moth-eaten and rotten, and it's just an iron frame now. No mattress on that one either. The ceiling is vaulted in here, and there is a thing to the attic, but it would require a hook, and you don't see a hook anymore, and it's locked. It's a metal latch. And then you head to the back part of the top of the cross where the bathrooms are we were talking about. And yep, as you come in, you can see the door moving back and forth, and it slams right in your face as you pass it. You push the door open, window's wide open. It is in fact a cross breeze.
Boom.
Easy. But we got some good footage of bullet holes. We got some good dark footage. So,
Then you return downstairs and you go on the
Wait,
staircase.
Hold on. Lube, here. Get this.
yeah.
It's just me, like, waving no at things and, like, just...
I assume you close the window too.
Yeah, you go to... Haunting solved.
You go back downstairs and you go
3 more
underneath
angled
behind the
shots of
staircase. And both the guest bedrooms are empty and bare. And the laundry room has an old, like, 60s Maytag, and that's it. It looks like at one time it had gas-powered everything because the pipes are still here, but nothing's connected.
Oh, gas.
That's your house.
Gas, interesting. Okay.
So, set up the house how you want and conduct your ghost show now that you've been given the layout.
I would assume the dining room would be like a good place to set up everything.
Yeah, pretty central to everything.
And it's pretty close to the front, so maybe we can set up a small generator, be able to power all the equipment just in case or whatever, if we have that.
Yeah, we got a small generator.
Well,
It's very small.
as soon as everyone steps in the house, Cass is going to step in, making sure to keep distance from everybody.
The energy is terrible. It's extremely oppressive and negative, but it doesn't necessarily feel like demons, even if you know what that is. It could be so much negativity made the house a negative place. There have been many deaths here.
She kind of takes her tarot deck and swings it around in the air very gently. And you hear her whisper a prayer to her cousin, Althea, who's one of her guardians since she has passed on. And she shuffles her deck. And she pulls the first card. 10 of bats. That can't be right. She pulls another card. The Fool. Strange. Cousin, guide my deck. No. The Tower. Cousin, tell me something a little better. The Hanged Man? No. 9 of bats. No. And she lets out a shriek. Loud enough that all the cast can hear her. The devil!
Chris equally screams and drops a hard case on his foot because he was startled. Oh, the devil got her! Oh, shoot, the devil got Cass. I knew it. I knew it was going to happen.
At that moment, every window and door in the house opens and shuts simultaneously with a massive slam. The breeze causes the cards to flutter out of your deck. What do you see?
Oh no, all my cards. Oh, what a mess. What? Ace of ghosts? Ghosts? 6 of ghosts? 2 of ghosts? 10 of ghosts? Queen of ghosts? What? My cards. Where are all my other cards? They're all ghosts.
By this time, you're all back in the dining room, especially Chris.
Nope. Are you okay? Are you all right? Do you got a case of the vapors?
You see what happens at the end, where every card in the deck is a ghost, which is impossible. And then when Cass picks them all up and puts them back together and flips through them, it's back to normal.
Oh, hell no. Look at that. I told y'all. I done told y'all that's some bad juju here. Oh, sweet baby Jesus, I pray to thee, you just please, I can't, y'all, I can't, I hate this. I hate this so much. That there was not supposed to happen. How's that, Cass? What'd you do? Did you put your voodoo on me? I bet this was. Did Aldous tell you to do? I bet he told you to do it to fuck with me. I knew it.
Beg your pardon. My religion is Hellenistic.
What now?
Athena.
You be using these big words, lady. I don't understand them sometimes.
No, but the important thing is, look, all of these cards that I read. 10 of bats, the Fool, the Tower, the Hanged Man.
Is anyone in the living
9
room?
of bats.
Still getting, I'm gonna get shots of like the ground and like we didn't miss any cards.
Okay.
They're all back.
What were you going to say, Aldous?
I thought you said we were all in the kitchen.
I said you all head back to the dining room, yes, but if any of you want to be in the living room still because they're connected, you can't be. That's why I asked.
Okay.
Sure, I'll be in the living room.
Yeah, can I be hanging out like in the door from the living room to the kitchen, kind of just like watching this?
Yes.
Like, scoffingly?
So you both notice a deep rasping breath behind you. The rest of you in the kitchen are still distracted by the cards. Don't worry, Chris.
Oh my god.
Just turn my head slowly.
Yeah, same.
As you turn, the temperature in the room immediately drops about 30 degrees. Only the living room, not the dining room. Like, rapid drop. And you both breathe out and can see your breath. And all the hair on your arm stands on end, and you slowly turn around. And in the armchair, is an old man in his boxer shorts and his slippers and an old stained wife beater with most of his head missing. But half of it is still there. And you can see half of his mouth and his eyeball glaring at both of you. And he rasps out in a clearly, I don't have a head voice. You'll never escape the house. Do not go. You'll never escape. And then it's gone, like it flickers out.
You've known Aldous for a couple of years now.
And there's fresh blood on the chair now.
You've known Aldous for a couple of years now. He's usually the complete sourpuss right on the parade, right? But when he kind of sees that, he actually responds with a little... Okay.
By the way, you had equipment set up before this scene, so this has all been captured by your various equipment. Even though none of you are thinking about that right now.
I'm constantly thinking about it.
Bradley would be, yeah.
Right now, Bradley's only thinking about the ghost he just saw. And the blood on the chair.
I mean, that's...
I want to walk over and look at the blood.
I can't really explain that, but I'm gonna get... I'd like to get a sample of that blood, and then we'll see.
It smells horrible, like stagnant water, but it's definitely blood, and it's still warm, even though the room is still 20 degrees.
Oh my Lord, this is gonna be a night.
I dip my finger into the blood.
It's still warm.
I pull as much of it on my fingertip as possible, and I hold my palm out. Bradley, let's see if we can't prove something today. And I start drawing on my palm.
Okay.
And with the blood, which gives me bonuses.
Bonus.
I'm going to write my prayer stave. Writing on my body, the caster can see, hear, and speak to any ghost in their vicinity. So I want to see if I can use this to try to see this ghost, or if there's another one floating around, see if there's anything still in this room.
Do you have to roll for it?
I do. I have to.
Do that first.
This would be the first Numina roll.
Spend the fuel and make the roll first. Then I'll tell you what happens.
Okay. Let's take a look here, guys. Here we go. And you said we're all aware of everyone's like magic powers, right? So they know that I can do this.
Yes, but it probably still freaks them the hell out because you don't do it very often.
Yeah, no, I don't do this. Like, I have gotta, like, yeah, that's why I smiled at that. I'm still, like, I don't want to make it seem like I'm not creeped out. Like, obviously, all this is, like, that's weird, right?
But
for
right
him...
Right now, only Bradley sees...
Yeah. Okay, so Bradley, you're watching me, and I do that, and I write that down. So that cost me 1 bruised, and then...
I put out some... I just set up some motion sensors and a handheld little laser that can map the room, and I just sit there and watch it work.
That's insane.
What you get?
0 on... Wait, no. That's not enough dice. No, that is. 1, 2, 3... Wow. Wow. 2 successes, but 2 1s, so they cancel
Oh,
out
that's what
to
happened.
0. That's insane.
That really is.
That's
Is
like
there a
literally,
listed side effect on?
that's literally the worst thing that could have possibly happened. All right, so here we go. Hold on. When I fail my roll to activate my Numina, I take a derangement for 1 hour.
Oh boy.
Oh,
The
wow.
Necromancer fails an activation roll with their temporary willpower less than 3. The derangement lasts for 1 week of in-game time. So that's not happened yet. Like literally, I can't fail this roll, and I just failed the first one. Like, the character's built to not fail this roll.
Ah, shit, we're
How
haunted.
did you fail it?
Roll a d10.
It's the ghost.
It's the ghosts.
I knew it.
Roll a
That
d10. Here we
juju.
go. 1.
Too easy, roll it
I've
again.
got Devin luck tonight.
Too easy, roll it again.
Too easy?
The derangement. I'm having you roll derangement.
Yeah.
1 on the list is antisocial. Too easy, roll again.
It's the first one of the game! Let's
Yeah, but
ease
you're
into
already
this.
antisocial. Roll again, because it's you. It's too easy.
9.
9, okay. Nine is okay.
Uh,
I'll put it in
Are-
Discord
are
and
you-
you can role play it as necessary.
our Noodleth has given you a dice, I believe, Steve.
Has given me a dice.
For next
A
time,
boost,
For next
yes.
time, I appreciate.
which is +2 bonus dice to whatever roll.
I appreciate you very much. Apparently, I'm gonna need it.
So
So
it
I
doesn't
know
prevent
exactly
the power
I know
from
exactly
working,
how to play
though.
this. By the way, so
what happens is you activate the power and no one but you sees this, but all of your equipment goes haywire, Bradley. The room fills with spirits, mangled and murdered and suicided, and it's like a showroom of horror.
ooh,
And they all look at you and they all turn their heads simultaneously because they're all looking north. And they all turn their heads at the same moment to look at you, and they all mouth simultaneously, even though you can't hear it. You can feel the words hitting you. Don't go in the house. You'll never escape. And then they explode like mist.
It is.
okay, sweetness. Wow.
Would Cass have sensed this from the other room?
Yes. The energy in that room goes haywire while you're collecting your cards.
I am.
I drop my cards and I run into the other room.
As you come into the room specifically, Aldous turns around. Cass, don't come in here. Get out. Go. I don't want
No,
to see you.
I'm already in here.
Go.
No,
Cass, what are you doing? What are
there
you
was an
doing? To
energy.
me? What are you trying to do to me right now?
Me?
Hmm?
I felt an energy and I had to come find out if you were okay.
Oh, you felt an energy. You felt
Yes.
an energy, did you?
Yeah, we all freaking felt it in the other room. What the hell happened in here?
Ask her.
She was with
Whoa,
me.
whoa, 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 whoa.
I don't. You don't drop your cards, Cass.
Yo, Bradley, did like he fall on his head?
Oh yes,
Yeah,
leave the
he's-
Is he
cards.
having
I'll
Alzheimer's
that.
right now? What the hell is going on with all this?
That had nothing. Yeah, that had nothing to do with anybody here. That was not
Oh,
anyone
you
here.
right, Al. You seem
I
grumpier
looked
than usual.
straight at Cass. I don't know what you're trying to pull here, and I don't know what it is you're trying to get us to do or get us to see. But it's not going to work. I'm on to you. You know how good I am at this. You know I know people.
Oh,
How-
Aldous.
How many
Aldous.
liars you see me suss out, huh?
Many,
I'm on to you, Cass.
but
Hey, Aldous, let's talk about this outside.
Whoa.
Bradley,
Yeah.
just you give me some like timestamps, and I'll check back on the
Yeah,
like,
we're good.
something whatever.
We're good. Like, okay, what happened here was not okay. It just
What
wasn't. There was
happened?
okay. We saw we saw a man missing half his face, and
You
there was
saw
still
what?
Oh,
blood.
hell no.
Yeah, that's what we saw. Right before, there were a multitude of let's say for lack of my pea brain thinking right now, was call it a drove of the supernatural, the spirits, and they warned us not to go into the house. That being said, there's no one in this group that wishes anyone any ill will, so let us do our job and keep moving. Or either that or we get the hell out.
I'm not letting
We
this
do
go. This
as
is
a team.
insane. No! And I run over and I grab the chair that the old man was sitting in and I throw it kind of like generally at you guys, but not like to hit you, just kind of like in your direction. And I just fling the chair across the room.
Hey, look, you want to be alone in this place?
Whoa,
That's
what
fine. That's fine.
I don't want to be alone. I want her gone.
She ain't going anywhere.
You feel like you might need to drag. You
Step
feel
out
like
of
you
the
might
room.
need to get him out of the house.
I walk
like,
over.
Let's go take a breather.
I grab Aldous. I was like, the other like big person's like, hey Aldous, like let's go outside. Let's like,
let's.
You can
Don't-
tell me all about it.
Don't touch me. I might be old, but I know how to put someone. Let me go. And I like me just.
Eldis,
I'll help.
Dex plus
I'll help you
dodge.
take him out.
Eldis, Dex plus dodge.
Can I just laugh now?
Lupe, strength plus.
Can I
Brawl.
help? I would like to help with this.
You can roll strength plus brawl as well. If
You're
you
gonna-
get any successes, you give +1 dice to Aldis. Don't roll yet, Aldis. I'm
You're gonna-
sorry,
You're gonna
Lupe.
dog
Just
pile
because
the
I-
old man.
I might need to use one of my bonus die for this because I do not have brawl.
Remind me what willpower does again.
Automatic 1 success.
I'll spend a willpower.
In that case, you don't need to roll. You get your +1 dice, Lupe. There's another big guy here that could help.
Yeah, I will participate in this.
Strength plus brawl. If you get at least 1 success, you get another bonus die.
Come on now. I also would like to use the bonus die that Kimchi provided me.
Okay.
If
If he
my
so
thing
bonus
would
die so
pop up,
bonus
okay.
awards are worth 2 bonus dice in this game. So if you use someone's award, you get
Okay.
+2 dice.
Got it. Alright, so strength plus brawl, you said?
Correct.
Okay. Alright, that works out great for me, actually. And difficulty 6?
Yep.
Okay. And rolling.
Nice.
And tell us what you
Plus
got.
the 2. I got a 2.
+1 to
and
your roll,
then
Lupe.
Plus,
So that means overall +2 from your friends, +2 from the bonus you're using. That's +4 bonus dice.
Okay. How do I get it to actually do the 4 bonus dice? Because I can't change the number on the sheet.
Click the button on the left that says edit. What's it say? Edit something.
oh, I forgot to add my bonus die.
No, you should be able to double click the bonus die number and then change
Oh, yeah.
the value.
The bonus die. Sorry, I thought you were talking about something else.
Oh,
Steve is
okay.
correct.
Yeah, in
Just
the
double
top-
click the number for the bonus die.
Apparently I wasn't double clicking on it. So okay. Perfect.
And since you didn't roll it, Chris, that means you didn't burn it. Save it for another roll.
Okay. Okay.
Oh.
No successes?
So, what actually happens is,
Did it even roll anything? Like, it's not.
did it roll right? I don't know. What'd you get?
It doesn't look like it. What's you're rolling strength and what?
That's not enough dice. Nope.
Yeah.
Because
So
I would have had 2 base die plus 4 bonus dice.
So you should be rolling 6 dice total?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have... It might not have counted your bonus dice.
It didn't. It only rolled the base 2.
And you double... In the top right-hand corner, underneath difficulty, you double-click the bonus dice 0 and change the 0 to 4?
Yep. It's a 4. As far as what I'm looking at.
Okay.
So it looks like it's not actually rolling the bonus dice. You just roll 4d10 for us.
So
I'll have Nathan
actual
check that
4.
out. Yeah, you can just either you can click the d10 4 times if that's easier for you, or just do 4d10 when it comes up. And then hover over them to see any that are 6 or higher. The d10s are in the chat window at the bottom. Yep.
Oh, that.
2 successes,
yeah.
but -1. So 1 success.
All right.
1 success is enough, but describe it as a hot mess where even the 3 of you have a hard time dragging him out and shit gets knocked over.
Do you want me to roll... But do you want me to roll this dex and dodge?
Oh, right. Yes, I do. I thought you did.
No. I was waiting for their...
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
Spry old man.
He's
Oh
gonna
my
prove
God.
more with us. Oh
So-
my god.
We more
Describe-
corral him.
You can work as a group to describe the scene, but you corral him and tackle him, but then he squirms out and runs outside on his own.
So 3 of you are trying to hold down the 70-ish-year-old Aldous, and he's just like, "Nah, no, get off my hands off me, you young," and he like elbows one of you like in the lip like by accident, and he just flails his arms just enough, and he's like, "Get away from me! Get away from me! No!"
And we're just like, what the fuck? Because now there's blood on our face. It's like, what the hell just happened? It's like, just completely distracted. He's like,
I just got
"Oh!"
elbowed in the face by an old man.
And then yeah, I will.
I don't know how I
stagger
feel about
outside
that.
as fast as I can run, which, you know, probably is not that fast ultimately, but I power walk outside.
I just try to grab a camera fast enough to like catch him as he runs off to the woods or whatever.
I thought I see that you got the camera, and I follow you out, and just
Actually-
try and
Before that, I apologize. As I get to the door, right, to go outside, I'll stop and I'll do that like in the door frame. I'll go back. It's her. She's got the vision and she's putting it into our head. She's gonna get in your head soon. I'm on to you. I know what you can do. And then that's when I'll leave.
Chris chases after him.
yeah.
Go ahead and tell them what happens outside.
Do.
Go ahead and tell them what happens when they catch you outside, Aldous.
What? So once I'm away from everybody else, I'll look at them and I kind of look distrusting at them. As long as it's not Cass, though, I'll talk. We're just like, it's Cass, okay? Think about it. Think about everything, right? When we first got here, Cass saw some vision, right? Saw this little girl, tattered. She's been leading this whole time. There's something about this place. There's something about this investigation. Something's wrong with Cass. You gotta watch her. She's trying to guide us into something.
I mean, I'll admit that this place has been messed up from the start. What Cass told us is incredibly creepy, my man, but she has never once put us in any sort of danger. Matter of fact, she saved my hide more than once.
So, as soon as you finish that sentence, like I kind of like close my eyes and I kind of shake my head and I take a couple of breaths of the air outside, and I'm like, actually, you're right. No, that hurt to say. Oh God.
No, it's all good. I know. A broken clock is right twice a day. That being said, you all right? Are we good?
I'm fine.
All
You
right.
want to go sit down in
Let's
the
go sit.
sedan?
Yeah.
Now that you
let's
got,
go.
Get something to eat?
I'm fine. Leave me alone. I'm good. I'm just gonna catch my breath. Go.
Is your blood sugar too low? I mean, you got the diabetes, right? You got to take care of yourself.
I am in perfectly healthy. I'm probably in better shape than any one of y'all. Don't you worry about me. I'm fine. Y'all get out of here. Leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
All right. Hey, boss. I don't want to. I feel bad if I left you out here. Can we leave you in the dining room? Or not even in the dining room. Maybe we just go up to the stairs and sit on the stairs. Can we leave you there? It's not out here in the woods.
After that settles, you get back to your. After that settles, you return to the job at hand because you are professionals and used to be syndicated. And for the rest of the night, nothing happens. Just another old, drafty, smelly house with uneven cabinets and creaky windows that won't shut right. Not a single thing supernatural. It's probably quite frustrating. The morning arrives. You return the keys to the owners, who this time won't even pull into the gate, and when they look at your faces, the husband arches his eyebrow and the wife just smiles and nods and says, "Yep, I told you." And they take off before you can really talk to them. You pack up your equipment and you head back to the adjoined hotel suites you're renting for this. When I say suites, I mean like Days Inn suites. So you can edit your footage and try to put together your submission to PIC. And that's where the next scene picks up. After about 6 hours of sleep, a lot of confusion and frustration later.
I'm assuming, out of character, we are like paired up, except for Cass. She probably has her own room.
No, they're adjoining suites. Each of you has a little place. Some of you are in the bedroom, some of you are in the pull-out couches.
Okay.
Good morning.
Cass would have one of the actual rooms, though. Yeah.
I am specifically on a couch that I have set up to, because I got two of the fold-out tables we brought with us to put all of our equipment on, and then I'm just like, I'm gonna sit right here, right in front of the equipment, and I'm gonna fall asleep right here. I'm gonna pull out one of those couches so that I can be right.
Oh no, I apologize. This is after you've slept and after you've been awake, splicing your footage together into your submission. You've rewatched it all, and the spooky shit you actually caught on camera. You didn't catch all this seeing a million ghosts, but the readings went nuts. You caught the cards, all the windows and doors slamming all at once. You caught all of that.
Holy
No EMFs though, and no off-camera noises or things that you didn't see in the areas where the cameras alone were there.
That's where do we want to go next? What do we want to explore?
I'm not gonna lie. Just watching that footage, it made me want to change my pants. I'm sure glad I wasn't there. I mean, I was in the room next door, but shoot, you got bigger balls than I do, Bradley.
Out of character, did you say there was an EVP or no EVP?
There are no EVPs.
Dang, I really wanted to hear you do EVP voice.
Oh, I will, but not in this house.
Oh, hell yeah. All right. All right.
So basically, you've got your submission ready, but you're all like, what the hell happened? It went crazy and then it was dead. Don't go in the house, you'll never get out. We got out of the house. Plus, we were already in the house when it said it. What? So that's what your role playing is, trying to resolve all of that. Plus, Bradley almost like he was Aldous almost like he was temporarily possessed. That's supposed to happen to Cass, not Aldous.
What kind of house do you think they were talking about?
I don't know. I mean, don't go into the house. You'll never leave. Like,
We were in the house. I'm
yeah,
in
that
left.
doesn't make any sense.
Unless
Like a
what
different
the
part
house
of the
we
house?
went into isn't the house.
The original house?
You're
Maybe the
saying
first.
maybe.
Didn't go downstairs. We didn't go into the attic.
No.
Might have been saved by luck.
Oh, maybe they mean the next house. Perhaps.
Was the house like bulldozed over and another house put on top of the remains? I mean,
Like,
that
what
happens a lot too.
So don't go into the next house, you think? Like, what is our next house? Have we talked about that yet?
I mean, we're
There's-
still waiting for them to email us back to see if they like our footage.
Well, the spirits they tend to be connected to messages and forces that we're completely unaware of. So perhaps they were speaking with other ghosts in the underworld. We could hold a seance in that house and find out.
I don't
go
think we're
back.
allowed to go back there. She's trying to sell it.
Well, perhaps we tell her we left some equipment there.
I mean, it's always possible for. It won't be the first time we've taken a second run at a house. Definitely ask. But
I mean, we can just do the normal thing, tell them that we needed to pick up a little bit more B-roll for the show, and if they want the free publicity, they're going to let us back in. They're trying to sell the house, we know that, so just
yeah,
tie it in to give them the publicity. Look, you know me. I'm here to tell you where things ain't haunted. Things are a little weird in there, right? Could be something
No.
there. Could be worth checking out. We've seen stuff before. I wouldn't mind checking
Ain't
it out
seen nothing
again.
like that, though, Aldous.
no, that one was particularly.
That was weird, even for
Chris, your
me.
phone rings.
Oh shoot! Hello,
Hello? Is this... What's your last name? I apologize.
Morrison.
Is this Chris Morrison? You feel like you recognize that voice, Chris. Go ahead and
Yeah,
roll.
yeah. This is Chris.
Go ahead and roll Streetwise if you have it. If not, you can roll Empathy plus Wits. Difficulty 6.
I do not have Streetwise. So you said empathy and what?
Plus Wits, difficulty 6.
Oh shit. Wits. Do we even have it? I don't even have empathy.
Wits alone, difficulty 6.
Yikes.
I'm going to use that bonus die now.
Plus 2 bonus dice.
Okay.
And don't forget the thing isn't working, so just do the normal roll and then roll 2d10.
Oh, okay. Ready. Rolling. I got a 2.
So you don't need to use the bonus dice then.
But I want to use it anyway at the end of the night.
Or you can save it for next session.
I'll
They
get-
carry over.
Oh, they
do
roll
they
over?
carry over?
Yeah, because those are audience awards. Those don't go away.
Okay, cool.
Props to me not dying.
You can react to this how you want in character, but this is Sandy Spooks Mueller, the most well-known Scream Queen reality TV ghost hunter there is. She works for PIC.
Oh shoot! Hey, it's nice hearing from you. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. Giggle. How are you?
I'm doing great. What can I do for you?
Well, we got your submission and we looked over it, and we're pretty impressed with you guys.
Awesome. All right.
Maybe put me on speaker so we can talk to the team.
Yeah. Hold a second. I put her on mute for a second, and then I put her on speaker. Yo, it's that one fancy lady. Like she's impressed with our video. She got her submission. I take her off. All right. We're all here. We're here.
Hey there, Poltergeist team. How y'all doing? You recognize the voice too.
Oh wow! I'm doing great now.
Yes, we definitely liked your submission, and we definitely think we'd like to put you on a trial investigation. Unfortunately, the next closest booking we have is about 2 months from now. So I'm gonna put you down for it, and she starts giving you details of the place you're supposed to investigate. It's an asylum. It's a well-known one. It's very exciting.
Can I sense motive this?
Sure.
Normal difficulty, right?
Yep.
Empathy, sorry. So empathy.
Subterfuge to detect lies. Empathy to discern why you're feeling the way you're feeling. Subterfuge to know if it's a flat lie. It depends on what you're trying to figure out.
Wait. So the human lie detector, when you can tell individuals not being completely forward with the truth, this doesn't allow you to know what the truth is, just that you're being manipulated. All empathy rolls have a -4 difficulty.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we'll do it as empathy because that's how your merit works.
Okay, yeah. So this is
Meaning difficulty 2.
Yeah, to know if someone's lying or manipulating me, empathy, and then difficulty becomes 2. So let's see if I can get a success on this. That's empathy and perception. Difficulty's 2, and I'm going to roll 2 bonus dice because I'm going to go ahead and use the one that was given to me earlier by the person watching. Thank you. 3. So let's see if this works. 8 successes.
Not lying.
Damn.
This is a legitimate call.
This is really.
Mm-hmm. You're about to be picked up by a nationally syndicated program again, perhaps, if you can prove your worth in the big show. So she starts giving you details about a well-known asylum that is very exciting to even get access to, let alone do a ghost hunt in. And the date that's about 2 months from now. And she tells you, make sure you don't get rusty. Find something else to investigate and stay busy between now and then. And then after you all scream and shout and cheer, she ends the call.
Oh man, I can't believe we did it, yo! We did it! We're gonna make it back, and oh my gosh, this is amazing! I can't wait to tell all my tweets about this. Shoo, wait, it's gonna be great!
I can't wait to finally have my hotel room away from you guys at night.
Oh, shoot,
It
I love
has
you
been a
too,
little
Aldous.
cramped.
Make you coffee.
I mean, she
Oh,
does
Sorry,
If I'm
2
being
months.
honest, Cass, not very
Awesome.
well.
Well,
I like
Lupe,
her
you're,
coffee, Kaya.
you're always thinking
Here's some
ahead,
coffee.
Lupe.
Here's some coffee. Is that-
You're always thinking ahead, Lupe, and you're already scrolling through your email like, what are we going to do between now and then? Can't get rusty, gotta do what the lady said.
It's like,
And you don't see
God.
anything really interesting in your inbox, but you know how it shows you unread messages? It's flagging one unread message in your spam box. It's weird, it doesn't flag unread messages in your spam.
Pull it up like in front of everybody, just like, this is kind of weird as hell. Like, what the? There's a unread message in my spam?
In
What
your
the-
Damn it.
spam folder.
He was breaking me.
What
Uh,
spam?
Oh my
One
God.
weekend only. Come to Minnesota's most popular haunted attraction. A terrifying treat you'll never forget. And if you make it through the final room of the No Escape house, win $10,000 in prizes.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh, we can use that to get more equipment.
Yeah, we gotta stock up if we're going big time.
We can get a bigger van.
I
think
mean,
this is
cargo
probably some
van.
ripoff.
we need
but-
some better video equipment. I mean, did you hear the audio on that last?
You could
On
check
that
it out.
last
It's got a
mission?
URL.
Guys, this looks like some sort of amusement house. This isn't what we do. This
They
is
probably got some.
Yeah, but it's 10,000.
money is money, and I'd like a haunted house that's not actually haunted for once.
That
What?
would be nice.
And remember, in order to actually nail your position with PIC, you have to do that perfection, that investigation in 2 months. $10,000 worth of new equipment would seal the deal.
It'd be like walking. It'd be
I
like
think we should
walking.
definitely check this
Guarantee success.
Be a cakewalk. It would
Yeah,
be easy.
like either we totally nail this thing, $10,000 richer, or it's some scam, and then we get to put these people on blast.
Yeah,
I think it's like a
Exactly.
solid
With your
You know what?
equipment
I'm
to be like,
loving that.
kill.
Lupe, what are we blasting them with? We're not blowing the house up. That's not what we do.
No.
No.
It's just saying that we just let everybody else know that these are fakers. That they're
no.
scamming people
This
out
is
of their
clearly
money.
this is like, we'll say Lupe clicked the link in incognito, having his antivirus check the whole thing. But this is actually a haunted house attraction. You pay $20 each to get inside. You get scared because it's the Halloween season. But this is one of those, make it to the end and we'll give you money because it's too scary. Upon further research, though, it appears that this has done this attraction once a year for the last 3 years, and no one's claimed a prize, but the prize is real.
I mean, we've been to the big times before. We're going back now. This should be easy for us.
I mean,
We've been
a
here,
real
we've done
haunted
that.
house, I could do it real easy.
Yeah, we got at least 4 different ways to win on this.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm
as long
for
as
it.
one
Let's
of
do
us
it.
makes it, we'll be fine.
Yes?
Nothing could possibly go wrong. This is ideal. It's winning
We
money
were-
for going through something we're used to.
We were totally not
You are
worried
outvoted
about
all this.
That's fine. Obviously.
Obviously, you would be contrary the whole time, yes.
Yeah, but yes, Aldous is absolutely against this. This is a waste of time. This is dumb.
Well, it's $10,000 for you to prove people wrong.
That actually doesn't turn him around on it.
And as you all,
Just
as
out
you
of
all
character,
except
that
for,
would not turn Aldous around on this idea.
I thought the proving people wrong would be the...
So out of character, to the clarification, remember, the proving things
Just
wrong
ghosts.
is tied to he's looking for actual hauntings to better expand his necromancy. So if this is, like, guaranteed not going to have hauntings in it, that's why he would pretty much have no interest in it. But we're obviously going to this house, so it's just character-wise, that would be him.
If it does help you at all, we were warned to stay away, so there's a non-zero chance something's there.
no, you don't have to help him. He's playing a character. He's doing it as he should. You always have to outvote Aldous. Almost always.
It's written into my character.
Yes. It's probably in his show contract somewhere.
There we go.
As the camera zooms out from the room with this excited bunch of you plotting how to spend your 10 grand, because of course jaded ghost hunters like you will make it through a spooky haunted house. This is one of those ones where you have to sign a contract and they can touch you, which is why you think most people never make it to the end. There's a couple of those in the real world, like in New York and shit, really dark, scary ones. Like they could actually grab you and pull you into a room with a sack over your head, stuff like that. But you think you're fine because you've experienced real ghosts. So as the camera pans out on you, excitedly planning, it shows the outside of your room in the hallway, where a little girl in a tattered white dress covered in blood is skipping down the hallway, whistling to herself in an eerie off-key tune.
Everything's fine.
Well, that's enough haunting horrors for one night. But do not fear. This chronicle will carry on next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. As for other terrifying tales and awesome adventures you can enjoy with Horrible Tales, you can catch me, Tyler, Eldritch Echoes Online, as GM on Mondays, running our Chronicles of Darkness, No Time for Reality Story right here. Wednesdays, running this, and Fridays, running our horror games, this week, Cult Divinity Lost. On Sundays, we play Conan Adventures in an Age Undreamed of, with Eric in charge. Tuesdays, Dungeon of the Mad Mage with Patty in charge, and Thursdays, Starfinder with Sean in charge. All shows at 9 p.m. Eastern. Ghost Hunters, let the viewers know which shows they can catch you in, and if you're doing anything else they can follow or watch you do online.
Hello, I am currently, have been, and will at least for 20 more minutes, and then maybe we'll change from Steve. However, you can find me here on Vorpal Tales, jamming out to this banger of a song Tyler's got playing right now. But then also you can find me tomorrow playing Starfinder with Space Lord Pajamas running. You can find me here on Friday playing that amazing cult game that I'm super excited to try out. Sunday I will be playing in Conan, 3 Black Coffins. And then find me back here next Wednesday for more ghost hunting.
Yeah,
Banger.
it is a really fun song. Hi, I am Ever, and you can find me all over the internet as Changeling Ever, changing, ever changing, changing forever. And you will find me playing every game now that Vorpal Tales has to offer. So upcoming, that's tomorrow, Starfinder. I'm your little Rado mechanic friend, and what's the day after tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday, so the day after that. No, what? Technically it's today. Sorry. Yes, Cult. Very excited for that. Super horror, super scary. I'm all about that. And then Sunday for Conan, 3 Black Coffins.
So, you can pretty much just find me on Ghost Hunters right now. You can also follow me on Twitter, Luis and Acostas. I am a dad, so you can get puns all the time. But for now, just got me on Wednesdays here.
Every now and then he streams too.
Play some video games. Usually suck pretty bad at them, but make fun of things. So, it's like, have some fun.
Hi, I'm Pinky_88 on Twitter. You can find me here on Mondays and Wednesday nights on Onyx Path. Mondays, playing the awesome Contagion, playing as Babushka Cassiana. On Tuesdays on the Vorpal Tales channel, you can find me playing as Izzy, an absolutely adorable halfling fighter who just wants to make friends with everyone and shove cookies down their throats. Non-maliciously. That sounds kind of scary. Anyway, and then on Wednesdays, you can find me playing as CJ or Chris, our lovable face of the group and scaredy cat, and everything is extremely suspicious.
My turn? Excellent. You can find me here. Yes, J3Billion on Twitter and stuff. I will be back next week on this very same time slot on Wednesday. Then we're talking tomorrow with Starfinder. Looking forward to that. Playing a mystic android with feelings. And then on Friday, I am brand new popping into Friday, and I'm going to see you guys there. I believe that's Cult Short Stories, and I'm super excited to get on my way there. Some hardcore horror, looking forward to it. And I think that's pretty much it for me. I do want to do one thing real quick and welcome Lewis back. It's been a minute since I played with him, and appreciate you being back, my man.
Wait, that's a bad thing now. There we go.
I definitely appreciate the welcome back. It's great to see y'all.
Awesome having you back, yes.
Yes, missed you so much, my dude.
Before we go, for our Ride or Die watchers, each of our cast members can vote for any other cast member for any reason. A vote is worth 2 bonus dice on any roll of your choice in a future session, or 1 free success, depending on whether you like to take your chances, to any dice pool of your choice. Steve, who's your favorite and why?
Oh man, wow. Tonight was awesome. I just dig how quickly everyone can get into their characters with these new games and new systems. So everyone did great, but I am gonna have to go with Ever tonight. For 2 reasons. The first one, that amazing scene with the tarot deck. Setting that up and the way that you played that was so freaking cool and spooky and awesome. And 2, for being my paranoia partner and playing along with me, going off on you.
I will always gladly be your worst fear.
Ever. Nailed it, by the way.
I'm gonna vote for Lewis because number one, your character was great, especially the pretending you got a camera on your shoulder. However, was also because you jumped from faceless gaming to having your face on stream. Like, that's pretty badass. I was terrified when it first happened and I had to practice. So, like, that you just went from nada to, hey, there's your face. Yeah.
Very narcissistic. It helps.
Tiffany.
Sorry, I am jamming out. This song's awesome. Okay, I want to give my vote to John because Bradley was all like, "Hey, can you stop being like scared and just help me load this like now? Like, no, you need to help me load this. God damn it, Chris, help me load the stuff into the house.
We gotta go. We only got.
He was so focused, so focused.
You only
and I loved
got.
it.
You only got like 5 hours of good shooting time. You got 2 hours of prep work, 5 hours of shooting time, 2 hours taking all this stuff down. I mean, it's absolutely fine. Ridiculous. You got to go.
And John, last but not least.
Joe, shoot. So much good stuff tonight. I feel bad because this person I give my vote to almost every single time. But Steve, you're getting my vote again. Just for being the cranky old man and elbowing somebody in the face tonight. That was.
He literally won.
He literally won against 3 people. 3.
He's wily.
He's just like he's the slipperiest 70-year-old man you can get your hands on. So I kind of love that. So there you go, my vote.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did I skip Lewis or did he vote?
Yeah. No, I think we got skipped there.
Last but not least, you Lewis.
I'm gonna give it to Tiffany. You had to be the face there. You led that entire interview section, so like we got a lot of good footage from that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Awesome being awesome to each other, as Sean would say. And lastly, for the audience, don't forget to follow us here on Twitch or the podcast service you're listening to. Look us up on social media. Check out our website at marpletales.com. Check out our Discord. You can find the link on our website as well as our Patreon. And check out the Kickstarter for Ghost Hunters. As you can tell, this game is hella fun. Until next week, sleep well.